Man, I realized I didn't use social media at all today. I was so absent from social media all day today. Well, we got so much done. Oh my god, we got so much done. Holy crap. What's going on, everybody? Whew! Guys, we got so much done today. Jump scare. Sorry, do you want me to go? I can leave. Do you want me to leave? Guys, welcome to the stream. My name's Chiato. Like a macchiato, I'm your coffee-fueled host of the most professional voice actor. I love working out, in case you couldn't tell. Welcome in, everybody. Today we're going to be yapping about Kamen Rider Ryuki. Very excited to sit down and watch Ryuki. I have really good memories about this series. It was in my top 3 for a really long time. It is no longer in my top 3. It was replaced with Kabuto and Blade. And Kuga still at number 1, but I do really like Ryuki. So I'm excited to dive in and to see how Markusatsu enjoys it. I think Markusatsu, Mark, you would probably like to hear that I finished my Gavan Infinity script for the most part. I have a couple things that I have to clean up, but for the most part, this is the fun thing. So somebody already asked if it was a busy day, why I was tired, what I was going through, you know? We sat down in Discord. Well, actually, technically, we started this last week, but we started writing the Gavan Infinity script last week, and I got 7 episodes into it, you know? Introduction of Death's Gavan. Now today, I finished the script. The script is 78 pages. 78 pages of a script, which is probably going to be in the hour and a half-ish range for a video. I'm thinking maybe 2 hours, which is hilarious because a series like Aba Ranger and Hibiki that are longer were, you know, probably had barely longer scripts, you know. 78 is half the length of a typical Legacy of Kamen Rider video. Yeah, I think mine's roughly the same because my Kabuto video is my Kamen Rider Kabuto video is 120 something pages. So I'd say roughly half. But then again, Kabuto actually has more because it has the hyper battle and the movie. So, but I wanted to give a fair shake at it because I felt like I was incredibly harsh while Gavan Infinity was airing, and I wanted to make sure that I gave it a fair shake, and then I gave it a fair attempt and a fair read through and a fair watch through. And after finishing the finale and then going back and doing the script and reliving everything and re-experiencing everything recontextualized because of the finale, I wanted to make sure I gave it a fair shot. And I do think the finale actually positively changed my opinion of the rest of the series, which is exciting. So I'm excited to see that. Sorry I'm late. I had to make sure my power wouldn't go out tonight. Well, hey, Ale, I'm glad that it didn't go out. Guys, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad so many of you are here to yap about Kamen Rider Ryuki. We're not talking about Gavan Infinity tonight. I was just busy working on the Gavan Infinity script, which we'll be recording on Thursday on stream. So if you guys are looking forward to that, it's going to be really fun. Very much looking forward to throwing it down with the Gavan Infinity script. So yeah. Hi, DK. Hi, Motomami. Hi, some Sunny Ray. Where's it, Ree? Hi, Barbados. Hi, Emmy. Bro, I go grab my drink and come back to Belmore pinning me. What happened? I don't see a pin. Huh? Question mark? It's okay. Talking about Gavan instead of Ryuki. Damn. Why do you say that? Do you not like Ryuki? Kamen Infinity has its issues, but I do think people are too harsh on it because they miss Super Sentai. I think that's fair. I definitely tried to pull that feeling out and judge Kamen Infinity purely on it just being a show, you know? So, and I do think I judged it pretty fairly. I think I would dare say I judged it the most fairly out of any Tokusatsu fan on Twitter. I'm on a 20 stream streak. Hey, Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, yo, you heard me. You heard me. You heard me. Hey, yo, indeed, it's true. What up, Four Leave? What up, Fairy? Hi, Marcusatsu. Hi, DK. Hi, it's Ray. Honestly, Sentai fans online live in their own little island. Honestly, sometimes I feel that to be true. Because I'm still trying to catch up on various tokusatsu series. You know? I've seen my fair shake. You know, I've seen a good number. I haven't seen everything, but I have people that are like yelling at me, not even just for Super Sentai, but like I'll be like I'm watching Kamen Rider Den-O right now. Like we're finishing it this coming Sunday. We're finishing Den-O for the first time on Sunday. And I've had so many people being like, "Oh, are we going to watch all the Den-O movies?" And I'm like, so long as they don't spoil other series or happen during other Kamen Rider series, yeah. So that probably means I'm only watching like 3 or 4 Den-O movies right now. And a bunch of people are like, well, you're not really watching all of Den-O then. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not going to spoil Kiva just to watch a Den-O movie. Like, I'll finish Kiva and then go watch the Den-O movie. Like, relax. It's not going anywhere. Oh my gosh. Ryuki still has the most aesthetically beautiful rider kick, bar none. It is a really good rider kick. I will give you that. It's a really good rider kick. Yeah. Tatakai. Tatakai. Only ever saw Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, so I gotta watch the others. Well, this will be a good one for you then. I'm curious to see how much I actually remember about Ryuki, because I don't think I've watched it since the Blu-rays came out. So it's been a minute. I just started Wizard, then everything changed when the copyrights attacked. It's all gone. Oh, I can imagine. You gotta get you some Blu-ray copies. Gotta get you some physical media. You know? I love the Rider Kick. It's really good. Final Vento. I also just love I have such like a happy brain moment when I like the card gimmick in Ryuki makes my brain really happy sometimes. Like the Final Vento. Like, I love all the sound effects that we get for it. It's so fun. Don't even start talking about bubbles. We Brazilians have the oldies bubble and only like tokus that aired here back in the 90s, late 80s. Oh. I've never seen a toku from the... Well, no, I've seen Kamen Rider Black and Black RX. But I've never seen anything else in the 80s. I've seen stuff in the 70s, but I've never seen anything else in the 80s. 90s, that's a different story. I've seen Jetman, Zhu Ranger, Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, O Ranger, Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, Ginga Man, Go-Go 5. You know? So they played their cards, right? I see you. Only thing missing from Ryuki Blu-ray would be the 13 Rider special and the Hyper Battle video that Agito had in it. Oh yeah, I think I had to end up looking up the Ryuki video online at some point, like trying to freaking find it, because so many people, because I expressed online that I didn't like how Ryuki ended, and then some people were like, "Oh, watch the movie instead. I'm sure like you'll like that like way more." And I was like, okay. And then I watched that and I didn't like that either. I didn't like either of the endings for Ryuki. The Blu-ray doesn't have Verd in it? I don't think so. I don't remember. You monster. Listen. My opinions are right. I don't know what to tell you, Mark. Wait, should I call you... Do you want to... Marcosatsu? Mark? Marco? What do you prefer for like your shortened name? I don't want to just call you Mark and be disrespectful. You would only watch Chou Den-O trilogy if you really like Decade. You can call me Roy Chiato. You got it. I hate it here. Ryuki has so many endings. Yeah, it does. What up, CL Sips? That's crazy. Hyper Battle video also came with a special card, only Ryuki card with a previous writer's logo on it. Oh, interesting. I hate it here. Listen, happens to the rest of us. I don't know if you guys knew that. No in between, Pookie or up. Damn, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I went to grab an apple today, and then I remembered how bad yesterday's apple was, and I put it back down. I put it back down. I was so afraid of just having a bad apple again 2 days in a row that I was like, never mind. I'm just not gonna have this apple. Oh my goodness, I was so nervous. Not the Apple PTSD. Yeah, the trauma from yesterday. Yeah, it definitely hit me. Cue the Toho music. Oh, right, that is a Toho song. I forgot. Third time's the charm. What do you mean? What happened to the second time? There wasn't a second time. Nasty apple. Yeah, it literally tasted like I was chewing on a leaf. It was gross. What up, RP Goddess? Did you see that Netflix acquired worldwide distribution rights for Kamen Rider? It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke post. I'm so mad that it was a joke post. Kamen Rider Mars would appreciate that. Who the hell is Mars? Tare. They got pranked, yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah, if Netflix had it, we'd be winning good. Thoughts on the V buckle, the Ryuki belt? I like it. I don't think there's a... I think simplicity done well is good. The guy on HBO is 100% real. Don't do this to me. Listen, I'm dumb enough that I'll believe it. The only reason I know that the Netflix thing is fake is because the post under it said, guys, this was a joke. Why are so many people falling for this? But yeah, the Ryuki belt I think is cool. I like that it has every rider's like unique design on it. I like that everybody gets a very simple pose. You know, I like that the belt forms on them after they pull out the what's it called? The card or the buckle to put on. Joke post, time to change that. Can you imagine the gold mine? The amount of people that would subscribe to Netflix just for Tokusatsu would be insane. Could you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh, that is my one, I will say, not my one complaint. I have many complaints about Ryuki, but the mirror noise killed me, especially in the Blu-rays. I felt like it was always like 40 million thousand decibels loud. I was going deaf every time. Yeah. The Netflix prank is heartbreaking because we don't know what's going on with Tokusatsu and their Kamen Rider licenses. I mean, we know... What is it? Tubi's Super Sentai license ran out. I think that's the only one that we know anything about. So, the hope is that Tokusatsu can just renew whatever they have. That way we can continue watching. But for now, we just have to wait and see. Maybe it's a sign for Netflix to do it. I don't think they will. I don't even know if Toei would play game with them. You know? They took down Ichigo and Kuga. I think I saw Achilles. I believe that's their name. I know them on TikTok. But I think I saw that they were talking about it. So, yeah. Imagine Toei just announces their own Toku streaming service. I'd probably subscribe to it. Real talk? I'd probably subscribe to it. Definitely make watching stuff easier rather than busting out the DVDs that I have from Shout Factory. First, Netflix won't release episode 2 of Steel Ball Run, and now this joke post. I hate it here. They didn't even make the joke post. It was somebody else. If Tokusatsu can't stream Maisu, we riot. Oh, gosh. Honestly, it would be such a step backwards if we went from Zets and how amazingly the streaming situation has been handled for Zets to suddenly nowhere else in the world can watch Kamen Rider ever again. I would be so sad. I'm pretty sure all of us would be like heartbroken. It'd be a giant step backwards. They took down Kuga when I was beginning to watch it. Now I gotta sail the 7 seas. Hey, be careful with that one. Be careful. I wish Toei would just give the master license to Discotech because they've been crushing it with their Toku releases. Yeah, but that doesn't help with streaming releases. Like, I do want physical media. I think physical media now more than ever is like proving to be incredibly important. But at the same time, I think streaming media licenses matter a lot too, because there's going to be the people that can't afford to drop $70-$80 on a Blu-ray box set, you know? And I like watching stuff with my community, and I can't exactly pop in a Blu-ray to share with people. Like, that shit's like encoded to block being screen shared, you know? I've been buying physical media since 1996. Love physicals. Anything Tokusatsu related that I can get physically, I try to get physically. That's why I have a throne that still has a couple Tokusatsu related things on it. What's left on my throne? I have a couple things. I have a couple things. Like, I've got V3 on there. I've got Amazon. I've got RX. I've got Stronger. I've got the movie trilogy with Jay, Shin, and... Is it Zeto? I can't remember what the other one is. Was it Zeto? What up, Starboy? Am I early or late? Early. We always yap for like an hour and a half before we actually get into the actual whatever the activity is. No, not Zeo, Zeto. I knew it this time. Wait, I thought it was pronounced Zeto. Wait, I thought somebody told me before. I thought it was... It's Zeto? Oh, okay. Listen, I was going crazy. I was going crazy for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Listen, I try and educate myself. When I'm wrong on shit, I'm wrong. I might joke up and be like, there's no way I'd get that wrong. But I'll correct myself for next time. Oh my goodness gracious. So many Z's. Guys, who in chat is watching Kamen Rider Zets currently? 1's in chat if you're watching Kamen Rider Zets. 2's in chat if you're not watching Kamen Rider Zets. 3's in chat of 3. Very important question. We got to talk about it. Guys, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. 1's. M, I'm going to take that as 3 1s. Because it's like at least 3 1s together. It might be more. I fell off, so 2, 4, 3, 3, 1, 3V, 2, 3, 2. Shut up, Belmore. I know you're watching with me. Unless you're not. That'd be really sad. Next year's 20th anniversary of The Next. I still haven't watched that movie. You're better off. I did not like that movie. I really didn't like that movie. 7299, get out of here. I hate it here. Kamen Rider Zets has been, I think, really good for me. I've definitely the hype on it I am wearing out on though, because now that we're like in the last stretch, you know, we're in the last like 5 or so episodes, you know, we've got 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49. We're in the last couple of episodes. The hype for it has definitely started to wear off, and I've definitely been able to start picking apart things that were frustrating me throughout the entire series, but for the most part I did enjoy it. I need you in my Zets discussion video. Sure, let's do it. Hit me up on Discord. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Feels like it should have ended 5 episodes ago. It kind of does, but then it also feels like it's moving too fast, you know? I hate Tokusatsu. Me too. That's why I keep yapping about it. You know what they say, you don't shut up about the stuff you hate. 6 months! Shoot that guy. Shoot that guy. That's why I always talk about pancakes, because I hate pancakes. Guys, 1's in chat if you hate pancakes. 2's in chat if you love pancakes. 3's in chat of 3. Get you some pancakes. I think we could all use some pancakes. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I could go for some pancakes. Double? Damn, double pancakes? I can't believe this. Mage hates pancakes? 2, especially chocolate chip pancakes? Nice. Hell yeah. Well, that's crazy. I grew up with pancakes. I mean, what's stopping you from fuck? What's stopping you from having pancakes now? Don't fuck them, but like still. Listen, we need some pancakes from a diner. We need that like butter that's like already mostly melted, just like dolloped on top. And then we need that sugary syrup that's like ooey gooey, so good that the pancake absorbs in like 0.272 seconds. If it's not 0.272 seconds, it's not the right syrup. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. What up, BSB? Depends on if I'm feeling crunchy or fluffy for breakfast. What do you want if you're feeling crunchy? Toast? An English muffin? What are you doing? No, please stop. I showed a little willpower. You want to buy me pancakes? You want to buy me pancakes? as a Canadian, pancakes is essentially like in my DNA. Okay, so you're gonna give me some pancakes, right? You're gonna give me some pancakes? What up, Pikachu? Maybe a breakfast sandwich? You want to make me a breakfast sandwich? Ooh, I actually ate pretty well today. I do think I don't know if I'm hungry or not. It's a weird feeling because like the past 2 days I've been trying to wake up earlier so I can go to the gym at a reasonable time and get my workouts done before the work day actually starts and then eat properly throughout the day. But like I'm in that weird state where I'm also technically eating better. So I'm like, am I hungry or am I just like whelmed? Fluffy as pancakes, crunchy as waffle. Crunchy waffle? Wait, what about a fluffy waffle? Decade was where I started loving my love for Kamen Rider. I haven't seen Decade yet. I'm a couple seasons off. I've got to watch Maji. So we're watching Den-O right now. Then is Maji Ranger. Then is Kiva. Then is Bulkenger. Then's Decade, right? Decade's after Kiva. Right? Very thin pancakes. Crepes? Snagged it like 30 minutes ago. What'd you snag 30 minutes ago? What'd you snag? Steak, hash browns, and pancakes for breakfast? Wait a minute. Crunchy waffles? No, guys, come on. The Destroyers of Worlds, Decade. I actually made a Decade joke in my Galvan Infinity script, and I haven't even seen it. I just know that this too is also Decade's fault. This is also Decade's fault. So I threw that as a joke in there. Yeah, Honore Decade! Just like that. Trust me, you're gonna hate the secondary rider suit on Kiva. Oh. Wait, why do you say that? I haven't even gotten to Kiva yet. I still have another Super Sentai series to get through before that. Wait, trust me, you're gonna love the secondary rider suit. Wait, hold on a second. Now we're getting conflicting opinions. What's going on here? What's going on? Huh? Noise. Crunchy waffles to me is waffles that have crispy edges and fluffy inside. Oh. I recently got an espresso machine, so I've been having lots of coffee. Nice! That sounds like a win to me. The internet having clashing opinions? Okay, that would never happen. Guys, you don't have clashing opinions, right? You guys just agree about everything constantly, right? Like, guys, aren't pancakes from a diner specifically the best breakfast food? Right? Right? Diner pancakes, top tier? Yeah? Huh? Right, guys? No, Mod, shoot that guy. I always go for French toast. Mod, shoot that guy. No, Mod, shoot that guy. I prefer donuts. Mod, shoot that guy. What up, Cosmic? Only if they got the crispy edges for pancakes? That's crazy. Oh my god, it's Decade! The Karate Bug Man! Ah, yes, Ryuki. Tries not to cry, cries a lot. Ryuki was good, man. Ryuki had some balls on him. They had some balls on. Listen, I know something about balls, okay? I like diner pancakes. Do you like pancakes? Gonna have to disagree. Belgian waffles at a diner. So don't have to waffle maker at home. Okay, mods. Ransack their home. Take their Belgian waffle maker. Force them to go to diners. To single-handedly fund the diner fund. For all of wherever they live. Chicken and waffles are the bomb. I haven't had chicken and waffles in a minute. Purple loves chicken and waffles. That might be his favorite, like, breakfast food. He loves chicken and waffles. I love diner pancakes. Purple loves chicken and waffles. Actually, if you guys were a Kamen Rider, which one would you be your dream suit to equip / henshin? Oh, God. Ooh, tough. That's a hard one. I don't know if I've seen my dream one yet. Because, like, there are some that I really do enjoy. But I don't know if I've had one that's like, this is the one. You know what I mean? Did you know that Mortal Kombat franchise was based on a Scandinavian folk song? For what I know, it's based on a Finnish... Wait, that was so good. Thank you for the super chat. Wait, that was so good. Can we fight us at a Waffle House? I've only been to a Waffle House once, so I think it's an unfair advantage if we fight on your home turf, you know? You're clearly more familiar with Waffle House than I am. I've only been there once. How about we fight outside of a Denny's, like out back, behind a Denny's? Then it's even playing ground. What up, Brandy? I love anything potato. Potato good. Potato's so good. They're so filling. Damn. Ooh. I like Ryuki's. I like Knights. Kabuto's is really clean. Shit, that's hard. Deno's is pretty good too. I really like Liner Form. It's pretty good. Potato pancakes are amazing with applesauce. I'll take your word for it. I don't think I've ever had potato pancakes with applesauce. If I don't have to take the downsides of the powers, I'll take Zolda, Dark Kabuto, or Kaiza. And Kaiza, you just become a bitch. Yeah, definitely. Stuffed baked potatoes with a bomb. What are they stuffed with? Are they stuffed with Rubes and the Raiders that he brought in? I'm sorry, that they brought in? I don't know what your pronouns are. Rubes! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Roy Chiato. Like a macchiato, I'm your coffee fuel host with the most professional voice actor. I love working out, in case you couldn't tell. Welcome in. Hi. Welcome in, guys. We're going to be yapping about Kamen Rider Ryuki today. We're going to be reacting to Marco Satsu's video, who is over in the YouTube chat. We're probably going to get started in maybe 30, 45 minutes. You guys know how we do. We like yapping. We like talking about pancakes. Yesterday, we talked about our favorite breakfast cereal. What's another one? Tatakai. Hi, Roy. I'm here. What's up, Love Frogs? I like Drive suits. Drive suits seem cool, but I haven't experienced them yet because I haven't seen Drive, you know? It's time to do it. What up, Rubes? Cool weapons like... Is it Ixa? Ixa? I don't know what that is. So I haven't seen it, so... Yippee! Guys, we have other things we have to talk about tonight. Ikusa. You know what? It makes sense to me. Guys, we got some other stuff that we have to talk about tonight. We got some important things we have to talk about. We got to talk about candle. What candle is on the menu for tonight? Now, I am removing one candle. I'm removing Kitchen Spice because I lit that for my 7-ish hour work session today. So Kitchen Spice is off the menu. Kitchen Spice is off the menu. Guys, we did it yesterday, but since I'm removing Kitchen Spice from the menu, we're gonna have coffee. Spiced vanilla apple. Mulled cider. Sugared cinnamon apple. Lemon pound cake. Cranberry chutney. We've got pansexual pride that smells like ocean breeze and tulips, but the color faded, so now it looks like gay pride. We've got Final Fantasy XIV Dancer, which smells like apricot and coconut. We've got Gay, which smells like cologne. And last but not least, we've got Camp Crystal Lake, which also smells like cologne. What are we feeling tonight? Tag yourself on vanilla apple. Ooh, okay. Lemon pound cake, pride. What does pansexuality smell like? Ocean breeze and tulips. Let's go gay, dancer, green. Which one's green? Spiced apple, apple, coffee. Classic coffee sounds good. Pan, dancer, mulled cider, lemon, dancer. Cranberry. Spiced apple, Camp Crystal Lake, pride. All these names sound so yummy. I know. They're so tasty. Let me tell you. They taste so good. Sugared cinnamon apple, spiced apple. It could be spiced apple, guys. It could be spiced apple. We have a lot of votes all over the place. KC BBQ? Is that like Korean barbecue? Spiced apple? Never mind, I'm Crystal Lake. Ooh, spice that apple. Guys, it might be spiced apple. It might be spiced apple. I think most of the votes we're getting right now are spiced apple. Spiced apple, there's Ruli. Ruli coming in! Never mind, I'm spiced apple. Guys, it might be spiced apple. It sounded like it might be spiced apple. What do you guys think? Are we feeling a spiced apple kind of night? Are we feeling a spiced apple kind of night? Is that what we're feeling? I don't know. Marcus Lotso, I think you need to turn that around for W. For Wombo. Apple up. All right. But guys, you know what we have to do first? We have to assemble the Council of Candles. Almost lost the Dusk Bunny. Really close. Almost lost the Dusk Bunny, guys. I almost lost the Dusk Bunny. Hiya! Wah. Okay. I have assembled the Council of Candles. I have assembled. Ooh, that already smells really good. Whoa. Whoa. Look at that. Look at the color. Bro, it's ready. It looked good. This one's also pretty low. This is one of the first 3 candles I ever bought. Isn't that crazy? That lit so quickly, too. Good quality candle. Good quality candle. Hit this up. Yippee! Looks like a creme bullet. What does that mean? What's a creme bullet? What's a creme bullet? Damn, I could go for a creme bullet. In the meantime, do you guys want a sip of coffee? Any coffee enjoyers? Any coffee enjoyers? Hey, coffee. Hey, coffee. Hey, fudgy wudgy. Hey, choco taco. Hey, creamsicle. Hey. Not before bed. Why not? What do you mean? Drinking the whole thing, buds! Grab at me right now. Make them spit it out. What up, Liz? What up, Cherry? Thanks, love me some coffee. Just for you, Unique, you know? Provecho? What does that mean? More of a hot chocolate, so no thank you. Like you are physically hot chocolate? What do you mean by that? But I like coffee ice cream, though. You know what? I got that. I love coffee, but it's 9:38 p.m. here. Well, you know, it's also 9:38 p.m. here. I had to check the fake wristwatch, you know? Mods! Ryder, kick them. Ryder, kick. Ryder, kick. This is why you need a dupe coffee to have Emmy think they have the whole cup, but in reality, it was a sip. Ooh. Let's drop the lighter. Almost lost my cool there. Also, just because I forgot. Kicksaw! Anyway. Rider kick. Damn, okay, my bad. Final Vento. Wait a minute. Enjoyer of yaoi and steel chairs! You know Ryuki? Final Vento. Huh? Alive a Life is such a bop. Gets me dancing like it's a rave. Damn, okay. My bad. Okay, I have that too. This lighter, it's actually purples. But since I use it like daily, I keep it, so. It's mine. It's yaoi and steel chairs. Of course they like Ryuki. No. I don't think there's too much yaoi in Ryuki. There's a little bit. a little bit, not a lot. Only a little bit. It's nowhere near the levels of Blade. It's nowhere near the levels of Blade, okay? And that has a whole goddamn bench in it. The movie, I'm talking about the series, okay? Just let you know. I'm surprised you haven't made a special coffee blend called Final Vento. Final Vento. No, not with Tachibana. It's with Chalice and Blade. Blade was all yaoi. I know, I loved it. I was having a good time. Except for, what's his name? Mitsuki? I can't even remember his name. No, Final Bento is a meal. Damn. Okay, my bad. Mutsuki? Fuck that guy. Build is super yaoi. I'm not there yet. Although, Zetz does kind of feel like, what's his name? The detective is like obsessed with Nox, which is really funny. Hi, Keishan. Hi. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Reborn Across Time. Excuse me? Yaoi Triangle? With who? Huh? Really? The more you know? Lianguru. I always forget. Yeah, Fujimi-san. Hi, Keishan. Hi, Keishan. I don't think Baku really goes at anybody. He's too awkward. I don't think he goes with anybody in his show. Yeah, Natsuka's great. I liked her. Or I like her, I guess. Nah. I don't put them together. Baku's a dork / pause true. I heard Kamen Rider talk. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Ryuki in like 30, 45 minutes. You know us, we usually yap, vibe, thrive, and survive. Baku's a literal shut-in for survival. I mean, yeah. I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, bye, Emmy. God, Emmy really does hate me. Emmy ducking out from the stream so early recently. That's crazy. What about Gavon? What about it? We did actually talk about Gavon a little bit at the beginning. Bro, I've been tired. Just tell me you hate me. Just tell me you hate me, okay? Sleep well on me, okay? Why does everyone keep saying Tatakai? Bitch, I love you. I'm never gonna stop loving you. Is that how they say it? I can't even remember. Honestly, Gavan Type G movies are more fun than Gavan Infinity. What are the Gavan Type G movies? I don't even know what those are. Gavu is the gayest writer series I've ever watched. That's the food one, right? Right? The snacks? Like feeds the belt on his stomach, right? Yes. I've heard good things about it. I think Kane told me it was really good. Listen, I like yaoi as much as the next person, but it doesn't always have to be there. I did like the romance that they had with Kiki and Koto in Gavan Infinity though. That was good. Streams are on your mind, Emmy, so you gotta stay. That's what I'm saying. It's the successor to original Gavan and has the new gen Sharivan and Shider too. There's even a crossover movie with Deca Ranger. Oh. I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about Gavan outside of Gavan Infinity. Gavan Infinity is my first exposure to Gavan as a whole. Outside of like VR Troopers, but I don't think that counts. Because like I could just shout "We are VR" at the top of my head, you know, top of my lungs, just go crazy with it. Decade is better in my opinion. 01 is second for me. Better than what? Better than what? Who are you talking to? Next Gen Sharivan and Shider were so essential to my high school. Oh. I didn't get into Tokusatsu until Zyuranger came out on DVD from Shout Factory. Zyuranger was my first Super Sentai. Gavu's OST is a bop, though. Ooh, that makes me happy. I've liked Zetz's music a lot, especially in the second half. Second half, Zetz's music has been, I think, better than first half. Wonder if we will get a Bunny Rider for the next series. Oh, we are! There's a Bunny Rider already confirmed. Wait, so I didn't realize this. I feel so dumb for not realizing this. Because Kamen Rider Maisu, right, was pitched as what I thought was going to be like a cat and mouse. So it's going to be Mouse is our main rider, Cat is the villain rider. You know? However, they're Zodiac themed? Question mark? So there's a rider for like every Zodiac? Yeah, we saw it in some of like the promotional images. Unless I misunderstood it, but there definitely was a bunny rider in there. Talking about mice? Yeah. Zodiac animals? Yeah. That means we have at least 12 riders? Potentially. Potentially. Close enough. Welcome back, Ryuki. Oh my goodness gracious. Around 2012, Toei attempted revisiting Metal Heroes with some movies. It didn't pan out, but the crossover movie with Deca Ranger is great. Ooh. Yeah, the bunny looks like Miku. I hope it's a guy. I don't think it's going to be. I hope it's a guy. Because I want a guy to be a bunny and to have some pink. Will they be Chinese Zodiacs? Listen, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see different story implications that they'll tie with the 12 Zodiacs. That'd be cool. You got me in a Kamen Rider watching Blade on Discord. Oh, yeah. God, we watched Blade so long ago. Blade was what? A year ago now? 2 years ago? I saw Kamen Riders and wanted to get into it. Is there a chronological order that I should do? It honestly just depends. So here's the problem you're going to run into. And you're going to hear this. You're going to hear a different answer from everybody you talk to, Grizzlocks. Now, I could get shot for this. Marcus Satsu's in the chat. I know he has a gun loaded, pointed at my head. I know it's ready. However, when it comes to Kamen Rider, there is cool stuff that you'll be able to experience by going in certain orders. But very much like Japan's own history as a country, it is broken up into eras. So there's the Showa era. There's the Heisei era. There's a second phase to the Heisei era. And then there's the Reiwa era, which is the era that we're currently in. Showa era is the era that started it all. If you're specifically talking about Kamen Rider, that's back in 1971. And the Showa era of Kamen Rider ended in the late 80s with Kamen Rider Black RX. Technically, I think that was already technically the Heisei era, but everybody just lumps Black and Black RX into the Showa era anyway. Kamen Rider took a pretty big break from TV shows and did some movies that did not do super well commercially. And eventually did come back in the year 2000 in the Heisei era, starting the Kamen Rider Heisei era with Kamen Rider Kuga. Kuga was meant to be a giant reboot-ish to the franchise. And I say reboot in a air quotes term. Oh, is Black RX still technically Showa? Wait, is it? I thought Heisei started like 80 something, technically. Didn't it? Anyway, regardless, Kuga started in the year 2000. It is really, soft reboot. And from there, they definitely caught lightning in a bottle and found success enough for Kamen Rider to return as a yearly show. So if you want modern Kamen Rider, there's a couple places you can start. If you want to start with the classics, sure, go ahead and check out Kamen Rider Ichigo. But if you want current Kamen Rider, if you want to like jump into the stuff that everyone's talking about now, you could go Reiwa era. I've heard Heisei era 2 is considered very strong by a lot of people. I'm currently in Heisei era 1. So I'm currently watching Kamen Rider Den-O, which is like 2 seasons away from Heisei Part 2. So it just depends on what you're looking for. There's no real chronological order you have to watch it. And as a new Rider fan, honestly, I think just pick what you think sounds and looks cool. Maybe read a synopsis, read an idea, look at a Kamen Rider suit and go, that looks sick. I want to watch this season, and go watch it. The only seasons that I've heard are a little bit harder to do that for are like Decade, because it is an anniversary season where it's celebrating, you know, the previous 10 years of the Heisei era. And I think Agito is better if you've seen Kuga, technically. I think that's like all I can say. I think that's all I can say. I thought all Toku is good. No, there's some bad Toku out there. I'm not a big fan of Faiz. A lot of other people are. Hibiki is kind of rough. I think V3 has not aged as well as people think it has, especially in the later half of it. I don't remember much about Kamen Rider X, which is not a good thing. What are we talking about? Somebody was asking if there was a chronological way to start Kamen Rider. So we were kind of just answering it to the best of our capabilities. You know, we're just vibing, thriving, surviving, yapping, you know. We got to make sure we talk about pancakes again at some point. Minimum 2 discussions about pancakes. You know, you don't like Faiz? Fair. I still love it. It's from what I've found out about myself. Apparently, I just don't like Toshiki Inoue's writing. Because I also don't like Jetman. I also don't like Jetman. And that's also Toshiki Inoue. And then I don't like the second half of Hibiki. So it is yeah, I don't know what it is about his writing. I thought we were cool. I'm sorry. Listen. Kamen Rider Faiz is like one of my least favorite Kamen Rider series. Jetman is in my bottom 5 Super Sentai that I've seen. So, and it's such a shame because I think it is just the writing that kills it for me. You probably won't like Kiva and Dawn Brothers. I've heard. I'm still gonna give them a go because I think it's unfair to go, oh, Inoue wrote that. I'm not gonna like it. I'm just gonna go in and watch it. And if I end up not liking it, then it kind of just adds to it. But if I end up loving it, great. Go in with an open mind. That's what I've been trying to do with every series that I watch. You know? The breakup over Toku, it just makes it more fun for us to be able to talk about stuff later. Because if we agreed on everything, it'd be boring. Connor and I got real heated when we were talking about morph sequences for Power Rangers. Connor was trying to say that Ninja Storm is a shit tier morph. And I almost threw something at him. I almost threw something at him through the internet. You know? Having an open mind is better. True. And I like having conversations. I was shocked. True. Me too. Me too. It is kind of boring. Mods! Shoot that guy. Wait, hold on. Like Ninja Force. Ninja Storm. Okay, there we go. It just specifically the morph from Ninja Storm. Show Era Rider goes from original Kamen Rider to J 1971 to 1994. Okay, that is probably maybe what I was thinking of. Maybe I just included Black RX for it. What was it again? That's crazy. Why are you smiling, Markusatsu? Why are you smiling at me? I've never seen it. Ninja Storm or Faiz or Jetman or none of them. But thank you, Nick. Thank you for the super. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. You can disagree, but don't try to kill one another and tear the other down, right? Yeah, I mean, like, that's what it was for Connor and I. Like, we hard disagreed on a couple things. Like, Connor was talking up how Power Rangers in Space is, like, an amazing morph. And I was like, I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's bad, but it's, like, kind of just happens. And then he was shitting all over my ideals with freaking Ninja Storm. He was calling me names. He called me a butthead. Check out the VOD. Oh my goodness. No, I will never be the guy that tears people down because I also know that I have some hot takes. Like when Goblin Infinity, like I said, was airing, I've been very critical of Goblin Infinity. I think so. My original score that I gave Goblin Infinity, for example, was about a 6 out of 10. However, now that I have like finished the script and I have like revisited everything, I've seen the finale, I know I better understand where like Project Red is going. I think I'm giving it a 7 instead. You don't like Goblin Infinity? It's more complicated than that. It's more complicated than do I like it or not like it, because like I'm gonna talk about this in the video. So I'm working on a Goblin Infinity video. I finished the script for it today. I'll be recording it live on stream. If you're a subscriber on Twitch or if you're a member on YouTube, you can come hear the recording for it early on Thursday before it gets turned into a video. Goblin Infinity is not long enough. There's too many ideas that get kind of thrown out for no reason. There's a bunch of plot holes that don't make sense. There's a lot of filler that I get really angry about it being there because the pacing is really, really bad. Honestly, the biggest flaws are pacing with Goblin Infinity. It should have been longer, but also it has too much filler. So 7's not that bad. I honestly would give it a 6, but I do think the ending was pretty good. I agree. The ending is actually what turned me around on it. The ending changed my opinion of going back into watching it with a different mindset when I was taking notes and doing the script itself. So we have to fight about what we call filler. Okay. Filler is an interesting phrase. I throw filler around a lot as a word where it's anything that's not plot. However, not all filler is bad. Filler is not a negative term for me. It is just a term that describes something that is not plot. Understandable. For me, Goblin Infinity is a solid 8.5 out of 10. I get not everyone's gonna love it, but hey, it's the first rollout of Project Red. There's gonna be some growing pains. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment too. 8.5 feels a little high to me, but I will say I do think Goblin Infinity ended really well. I think because we get Omega Horn starting this week, I think because how Goblin Infinity ended and going into Omega Horn, I'm significantly more interested in continuing Project Red because of how Goblin Infinity did it. So even though like I don't think it's like the best season ever or the best show ever, I think it did its job in making me interested about Project Red. So I want more Death Goblin in the plot, though. Yeah. I had super high expectations for Goblin Infinity, not because it replaced Super Sentai, but because I'm a huge Goblin and Metal Hero fanboy. I get you. I went in with 0 expectations. I went in with no expectations whatsoever because I've never seen Metal Heroes. I'm not caught up on Super Sentai, so I don't know what modern Super Sentai was like. The most recent thing I've seen and I'm currently watching is Zets, which obviously Kamen Rider is very different than Metal Heroes. So I went in with a completely blank slate. No idea what to expect. So I say this with my chest puffed out, my arms flexed up, my pecs bouncing. I have the most unbiased opinion on Goblin Infinity on all of Toku Twitter. I have the most unbiased opinion. I have a quick question. I've been trying to find out how to become a VTuber. I'm sorry to say, Google is probably going to be your best bet. It depends on what you mean content-wise. It depends on what you mean, like making the model. Depends on what you mean, like definition of being a VTuber, whether you want to be a streamer, anything like that. But unfortunately, Google's probably going to be your best bet. There are streams that I may talk about that in the future, though. If you have specific questions that I can actually answer, I might be able to help better. I can't find any more sites to watch Goblin Infinity, so that's not a lot of fun predicament. I know we're all in a very interesting predicament right now when it comes to tokusatsu in the West. You know, I myself am in America, so with Kamen Rider Z still airing, you know, I have some hope. I have some hope that the future might be a little bit better. We haven't heard anything about Omega Horn, so I think it's safe to say that we're just not going to get Omega Horn streaming here in the West, which is really unfortunate. I'm very nervous that we haven't heard anything about Mice yet. Mice. And the fact that Shout Factory / Yeah, Shout Factory lost the Super Sentai license, right? Is that what it was? Or was it, right? And that we're seeing Kamen Rider seasons removed from Tokusatsu. It is not good. These are scary times. But I think now more than ever, it's important that we vocalize our frustrations. That we, instead of screaming into the void with explicitives and saying that everybody should, turn to the 7 Cs and anything like that, I think now more than ever, it's time that we band together and talk about how frustrating it is to be a tokusatsu fan in other countries outside of Japan. Because it's not just a US thing. It's other countries across the world too. I think the louder we are about it in a air quotes peaceful sense, the better it'll be. And hopefully there is a company in the near future that can pick up a license, or if Shout Factory can get the license renewed, and then we can, see some more stuff with Tokusatsu. Maybe it's just a temporary setback. Maybe they just have like a licensing, flip. Maybe there's something going on with Hasbro that we don't know about. Maybe something did get picked up with Netflix. It's hard to say. We didn't hear about Zet streaming in the US until like a day before it aired. Wait, for real? I thought we heard about it way earlier than that. Because I remember we started watching, like my community and I have been watching Zets every week as it's been airing since it started airing. Or Disney. I'd be okay with Disney Plus as well. If it goes to Disney Plus, at least it's somewhere. So I really hope Discotech can get the Heisei seasons, because they've been crushing it with their Showa Rider and Metal Hero releases. I'm okay with it too, but like I said before, we can't. So we live in such a weird age where I 100% agree that. Oh, I almost forgot. Guys, don't forget your meds. Take your zinc. Take your zinc. Guys, take your vitamins. Zinc supplements, go. We live in such a weird age where I 100% agree, and I think now more than ever, physical media is incredibly important, like super important. However, I think digital content is just as important. There are a lot of people that want to consume media that cannot afford to constantly put out $60, $70 a release. Or if they just go, hey, here's every release. Here you go. I would much, oh my God, I don't know if I would much rather. We need both. We need both. We need digital accessibility and we need physical accessibility. So if Discotech can continue to get licenses and put out banger Blu-ray sets, awesome. I will buy them when I have the money. I also have them on my throne if you want to help me with the collection. Hey, exclamation point throne in chat. But we need digital media too. We need both. And this is for accessibility reasons. And accessibility is something Tokusatsu fans have been screaming about for decades. Decados, It is so incredibly important that we are heard in every capacity. So, people don't trust Disney or Netflix with much, let alone Tokusatsu. I don't think it matters at this point. I think we just need to go with something. Like what? If you're not going to put it on Disney Plus or Netflix, what are you going to put it on? What are you going to put it on? I'll be happy as long as Toei doesn't partner up with Crunchyroll. I'm not in the loop of why that would be a bad thing, but I feel like that would be a slam dunk. I think YouTube is their best bet. I agree there. I think YouTube genuinely is the best bet. I think it's a slam dunk. It should be on YouTube because it's evergreen content. Whenever people want to go watch it, throw some ads on there, let them sit. It doesn't matter if you dump them all at once because people are going to watch them piecemeal over time. Just put all of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and old Metal Hero shows and Tokusatsu in general. Put Gavon in there, put Project Red on there. So, just do everything. The kids who called me. My man. What's up, we? Out on Crunchyroll, they've been using AI for subs and it actually sucks. Wait, have they really? I haven't heard anything about that. I've been pretty on the slow front when it comes to anime recently. The anime that I watch is usually, hey, there's this person in it that I really want to hear. Like I pick out specific dubs that I'm like, I want to learn about this person. Like I'm very different because like I'm a professional voice actor and I'm trying to get more into anime and into games, into things like that. So like I just watch a lot of stuff that I'm like, that's a cool performance. I want to watch that. And then I just pick from there. So YouTube's the way to go. I mean, if Ultraman has an official YouTube channel with a, oh, it's gone. Never mind. Started watching Zets just to see all the seeds they planted in early season. Oh, for like all the stuff that's been going on. I like that. Sorry, I got cut off. Hey, you're good. You're good. You're good. Surprised Toei doesn't have just a streaming service altogether with all the anime movies, TV shows, and Toku. I am too. I think most of us are surprised. It's been how long? Guys, one's in chat if you would pay for a Toei like tokusatsu streaming service. Two's in chat if it would need to be bundled with something else to catch you. Three's in chat of 3. I would, personally. I'd be watching that shit all the time. Going to bed, let me watch 5 episodes of like a Showa era show. You know? Thread didn't pay attention. Hey, it happens to the rest of us. I don't dabble in subscriptions. All right, Sage, I see you. Wow. If I got the spare money, understandable. 4! I see you. Ultraman has an official YouTube channel to watch them fully and safely and properly. That's the best way to get the other series to make it onto there. Yeah, but Ultraman's not Toei. That's the thing, you know? Ryuki was my first? Hell yeah. They do have a streaming service, Toei Tokusatsu Fan Club. It's just not available outside of Japan. Well, make it worldwide. Yeah. 2, I'd invest if it meant more support for the fans. I got that. If it was just Toei, I would just get it that and get rid of all of my other subscription. That's crazy. Who took all my glasses toggles? What are you talking about? It's right there. It's right there. Make it worldwide, have subs. So the time to be Tatakai. I don't know. I thought Agito was subbed at one point. What? Oh, there was a Japanese channel that aired Kamen Rider in the US, like streamable TV, but it failed. Oh, that sucks. It's definitely like ahead of its time. I'm sure if something like that like was today, like happened today, it would do amazingly. Especially if it had like VOD storage. One Piece. I fell off of One Piece. I got the Fishman Island, which is in like the 500s. And I did not like Fishman Island. I was really disappointed in Fishman Island. It was like my least favorite arc. So I was just like, I'm going to take a break. I just never went back to it. It was actually a recent thing. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Speaking of Ultraman, I just can't stop yapping about it. I love it. I guess you'd call me an ultra expert of some sorts. Damn. Just Fishman Island? Yeah, Fishman Island is in the 500s. What do you mean just? That's like 500 episodes. That's like 10 Kamen Rider seasons. Huh? We're too small of a niche for that. In what regard? You think Goblin would be more popular with more normie audience if they did a Power Ranger style show, but Toei is 100% behind it and not partnering with a Western company? No. I think Gavan unfortunately has, at least after watching Gavan Infinity, I don't think if it aired in America, I don't think it would do as well as it would have done in Japan. So, yeah. I think that's just what it is. I think if maybe they dubbed it, maybe, and it would be good for Tokusatsu fans. But there's a lot of, as I have revisited it, it feels very intrinsically tied to some Japanese lifestyle things. I think Reiji is a really good character in that regard. But ours are pretty niche even for Japanese standards. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. Like, Super Sentai is easy because you can just go, hey, it's Japanese Power Rangers. Is that correct? No. But at least you can get people to look at something. Kamen Rider, at least the suits are close enough that you could probably go, hey, it's a Japanese Power Ranger on a motorcycle. Is that correct? Probably not. Is that fair? No. But it's at least easier. Or if you show someone Gavon, I think it's a little bit harder. I think it's harder. What up, Sonic Rider? Kamen Rider is pretty much a shonen battle anime in live action. I know, I love it. I think I enjoy Kamen Rider more than Super Sentai, but it's been like that for a while. So, for Kamen Rider, you point to Dragon Knight since it's the only US season we really got. Well, we had Masked Rider. Masked Rider. Masked Rider. Anyway. Thing is, it's not Metal Heroes. Project Red is explicitly its own thing. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think we were just pointing at Gavon Infinity specifically. And even then, Project Red is quite literally an experimental thing. But I am excited for the future of Project Red after finishing, you know? We didn't talk about that one? My bad. You know about that flop? I haven't watched it. I watched one episode. But I'm familiar. Gavin actually prefer more because of the suit design, how they're armored and practical they are, and the sound design and music. Oh my god. What's a Hero is like a generational track. What's a Hero is so good. Oh my god. What's a Hero is such a banger. Hero. What's a hero? It's so good, man. Oh. Sorry for saying it again. I was happy to meet you at the Comic-Con. Hey! Good to see you. Don't say sorry. I'm glad to see you. Megahorn to me honestly reminds me of a pizza delivery guy. I don't like the suit, but I did like the look of the trailer, and I like the look of the monsters. And I like the set pieces. And because we know it's tied to Goblin Infinity to some capacity, I'm excited. Yeah, so Megahorn is already showing that they're willing to branch out into what Toei is able to do with their Tokusatsu series. I think that's partly why I'm excited, because I'm making a joke about it in my script for the Goblin Infinity video, but where Goblin Infinity feels like it was taking like first steps to set up things, and I was kind of like, you guys are messing up a lot here. But now that it's done and we know that they're going for more of a multiversal feel, like these universes are going to be connected with one another, they're breaking a lot of rules that Tokusatsu has followed for a long time. Like in-universe, same series, sequel series, they're doing shorter seasons. They could break more rules, and you never know. Maybe a year or two from now, we could get a Goblin Infinity Season 2. Or a Goblin Luminous. Or Goblin Bushido. Or Goblin Raya. You know what I mean? There's so many cool things that I think could happen. I think Omega Horn, if anything, I think I'm more excited for what's going to happen after Omega Horn. Like, I need to know what happens in Omega Horn and then what happens after Omega Horn. That is what I'm excited on. Congrats? Wait, what happened? Do you know there's one Tokusatsu show that actually got a 9 out of 10 in some countries and a 10 out of 10? It's called Madan Senki Ryukendo. Divi! Thanks so much for the 9 months! Yippee! Multiple possibilities for multiple universes, yeah. The Council of Gavon. Yeah, I think there could be some really good stuff. I think we're in a very interesting situation. I think we are in a very fun position. While I still say that I think Goblin Infinity did struggle, it did good enough and did its job of getting me interested in Project Red, especially with the last episode and with the trailer of Omega Horn. So, I want a Gavant show. I do not. I'm an old bitch. I don't really like, I can handle some whimsy. I can handle some jokes. I think Gavant was a little bit too out there for me. And I would have rather had an episode about Death Gavan's backstory rather than the Gavant episode. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I would have rather gotten a Death Gavan backstory episode rather than Gavant. You know? A little bit? What do you mean little bit? Hello, come on. You cannot tell me that you are happy not getting a Death Gavan backstory episode, but instead we got a Gavant episode. There's no way. There's no way. Because we still never found out anything about Death Gavan's backstory at all, whatsoever. They literally, like, cock-teased us. It was ridiculous. Because Gavant, yeah. Need a train Gavan show? That could be funny. We do not. Yeah, we still have no idea what happened. Death Gavan's an old bastard who we never found out anything about. Also, we never saw Gato's Gavan form. Yeah! Yeah, you kiters just kind of existing. No, I want Sentai back. I'm okay with it taking a break. I still have to catch up on Sentai anyway. If it comes back in 10 or 20 years, or 30 years, or 40 years, I'll watch it. 50 years? I ain't watching that shit. 60 years, though? I'll watch that shit. 50 is the no-no. No-no. And then after Armor Hero came Tomika Hero Rescue. I don't know about those. You got me. Gavant was my favorite episode. The only episode I truly enjoyed in the entire series. What? Wait, there were some... Listen, I shit on Gavan Infinity as much as the next person. But there were some genuinely banger episodes. There were some banger episodes. Huh? The two-parter where you get introduced to Kunai? The backstory with Setsuna? With the sniper? What? The Kiki and Koto relationship episodes? There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, the Yuri! That's insane. That's wild to me. Listen, to each their own. At the end of the day, to each their own. But if we deleted the Gavant episode, I would not complain. I'm not complaining. If we delete the Gavant episode, I'm not complaining. To be fair, there's like at least like 5 episodes from Gavan Infinity I think we could delete. To be fair. I think there's several. Gavant's still the best though. That's crazy! That's insane. Guys. Hey Roy, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Guys, do you want to talk about Kamen Rider Ryuki? We've been yapping for like an hour and 20 minutes. Is it time to talk about Ryuki before I throw up because of Gavant? I'm about to throw up because of goddamn Gavan Ant. Blech. 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 Anyway, okay. Let me grab the video. Grab the video. Grab the video. Marco Satsu. Ryuki. History of Kamen Rider Ryuki. Okay. Guys. Kapow. You know, I got my coffee. I got my coffee, you know. Is it time to tatakai? It's time to tatakai. It's time. Guys, it's time. It's time. I love Ryuki, my precious baby. I also like Ryuki. At last, it's time to pick up your Advent decks. Survivor. Okay, so like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Hit me. Hit me with the Soul Light. Isn't this the most recent one that you've done that I've watched so far? Yeah, because like the other ones were like from 8 years ago. Even longer than the Gaim video. The video is the one that took me the longest to edit. I see that it's an hour and 24 minutes. So we're probably going to be here for like 3 hours. You did a video on Dragon Knight, but you... Wait, it took you 4 extra years to do one on Ryuki? Wait, that's crazy. I'll break some glass. My bad. Listen, brother. You ain't got to apologize for shit. Wait, I'm going to pull it up. Can you take a guess when the last video that I put out was? Can you guess when the last video that I put out? Four months ago. 4 months ago. And I said the next video is not going to take as long. It took me just as long of a gap in time to post the Hibiki video to the Aba Ranger video to now. And the next video that we're posting is the Gavan video. Yeah, it's been 4 months since the Aba Ranger video. And I'm very proud of the Aba Ranger video. Can we get a Roy in chat? That's crazy. I don't think we can. Guys, let's start before Marcus also gets me fucking yapping. I swear to God, I'll grab you. Okay, here we go. Oh, I gotta turn off the subtitles. Sonic Rider, thank you so much for the membership. Woo! Look at all these seasons that I don't rank it. Wait, that's O's. I know that one. Oh, okay. Never mind.
When it comes to a new era of a show, you might expect some changes to happen.
True.
But you shouldn't expect them to happen immediately. I'd say that changes in formula should come naturally, which can be seen more clearly in the Heisei era's second half. Though going back to the beginning of Heisei, Kuga felt like something out of the Showa era, but with a year 2000 setting. That was...
Ooh. I think I see where you're going with this. Okay, I think I see where you're going.
Kuga stemmed from some ideas that Shotaro Ishinomori had before his passing, and you can see those elements throughout the show. Kamen Rider Agito felt like more of the same, except was just a little bit more of everything, including the titular Kamen Rider themselves. Now, I said they felt more like Showa-era seasons, but that's pointing more towards the tone, especially with Kamen Rider Blacks and Black RX.
I was gonna say, Black especially had such a more serious tone. Black RX definitely felt a little bit more jovial at times. Like, they let our freaking boy, like, laugh and smile. He's not just depressed 24/7. You know, my old video was just retelling the story, but this one I actually did way more research and editing, cleaned up the script, didn't just copy paste clips like I usually do. That is, I think that's the world that I'm still trying to find how to break out into. And I saw that there was a massive critique on tokusatsu tubers as a whole, that they just recap shit. And I'm in that right now because I like recapping, but then I also like, I'm the dumb bitch that paused a minute 11 seconds into the video this because it was really good with this, and that's what I do in my videos. I'm like, hey, here's this scene, pause, I really like this because it does this, it reestablishes this person as a character, this is great, moving on to the next bit, show it again. So is that a cross behind them? It is. This was in a church. Yeah, Kuga's like first big fight was in a church that was on fire. She was dope. And then they gave us Black Sun. I still haven't watched Black Sun. I keep meaning to, I keep forgetting.
Sure, there were still some practical effects like older shows.
Yeah!
Since CGI was becoming more of a common tool, it was added for Kuga, even if it looks really outdated. Despite that, Kuga and Agito were well lit.
Hey! Leave him alone!
For their drama and characters. Agito was a step in the right direction, now that it had Shinichiro Shirakura as Kamen Rider's producer for the next few seasons.
Ooh. That's such an interesting take, because, like, obviously, like, I watch these more in a vacuum of here's Kuga, here's Agito, and I liked Kuga way more than I liked Agito. But saying it's a step in the right direction, probably from Japanese viewership, because Agito is like super beloved, you know? Obviously, Kuga did a lot of work of reviving the franchise, but I like that. Okay.
With the producer set, let's look at the main writer, Yasuko Kobayashi, who wrote for a few of my all-time favorite tokusatsu.
Writer for Ryuki, Den-O, Amazons, which I haven't seen. Oh, I love that's probably why I like this, because I like Ginga Man, and I know a lot of other people don't. Time Ranger's obviously a bop. I liked Ryuki. Den-O I have my frustrations with, but I'm trying to wait until we finish it to like form a full opinion. So
in both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, although she wrote for some Metal Hero seasons too. By the time she became
Jugo B Fighter. The
head writer for the season following Agito, she already had a lot of toku writing credits under her belt. This season would be known as Kamen Rider Ryuki. However, Toei wasn't even sure if Kamen Rider would have continued at all after Agito, since it was planned to be the last of the franchise, which coincidentally Kuga was also planned for.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
There were some ideas to work on a new henchman.
My first writer? Hell yeah! Welcome in.
Also inspired by Kamen Rider, so it was an obvious choice to continue on with that project. However, in 2001, America faced a tragic event. When something happens somewhere in the world, everyone else hears the news and sympathizes. As is in Japan, quote-unquote simpler heroes were created for children to understand. To which Shirakuda said, "The true justice they believe in is fake. The producers claim to know the real thing."
What a quote!
He really wanted to differentiate from Agito, while taking some previously unused ideas and expanding on them. For example, Agito was planned to have 10 writers, so Ryuki would have 50. Then that proved to be too expensive and was cut down to 13.
Yeah, no shit, 50 writers would be too expensive. Brother!
Though I couldn't find specifically why they chose 13. There was a quote that it was a reference to the original Kamen Rider manga. Weirdly enough, not all 13 were planned to be shown in this season at all, which leads me to believe that if the plan did go with 50, then they wouldn't all have appeared either. I mentioned that
Wait, was the Blu-ray out by this point? Because like these shots that you got for this are like way higher quality than you had for Kuga and for Agito. Like, good, yes, okay. I was gonna say it's a noticeable quality increase from the last video I watched from you, which is a good thing.
If the plan did go with 50, then they wouldn't all have appeared either. I mentioned that Shirakuda wanted to challenge what true justice
50's insane,
was,
true.
And Agito was almost an immediate response to that, as its multiple writers were symbols for certain meanings of heroism. Then Kamen Rider Ryuki aired on February 3rd, 2002.
I was gonna say Ryuki definitely feels that.
Not great.
I've heard most people did not like Ryuki from a Japanese viewership perspective. Ryuki was not well received. I loved Ryuki as someone that started Kamen Rider with Ichigo, then went to V3, then went to X. Then I decided that I wanted to be done with the Showa era, but I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to skip out on Black and Black RX because I heard that Black was the GOAT. So I watched Black and then Black RX, and then I went to Kuga. I really liked Ryuki because I saw Ichigo, V3, X, Black RX, Kuga, Agito, and then I saw Ryuki as my 7th season. I was happy to feel something that felt like a shakeup. And Ryuki felt like a good shakeup to me. It wasn't my favorite season. It's in my top 5 now, not my top 3, but I like it.
Older fans didn't like the idea of Kamen Riders fighting other Kamen Riders. Oh, how
I like that.
times have changed. I've seen several times throughout the franchise where something new can come with distaste from a vocal minority.
Wait a minute. But people loved what's his dick from Agito? Another Agito. That's such a...
Yeah, Agito had several writers, and sometimes they clashed, but it was never the focus. Whereas Ryuki was all about a battle royale for one winner to receive a wish.
I guess.
To me, having writers just sounds cool in concept, but I can also see how older fans wouldn't like it, as that was never the main focus.
Thanks to Ryuki, we got Fate. What? Was Ryuki the inspiration for Fate? Wait, I didn't know that. Well, that's sick.
Even in the Showa era, and now changing up the formula only 3 seasons into Heisei seems off-putting. But let's finally dive into the mirror.
Yeah!
Because we start with mirrors, and what I call mirror noise.
Uh,
Ow, my ears.
yeah. Oh my god, please never play that again.
Even though mirrors are common in our world, you should be careful with them. Otherwise, you'll come across the monsters that live within them. Luckily, we do have those that are willing to combat the monsters with their own monsters. I swear that wasn't a pun or a coincidental joke, since now we have the opening, which was sung by Rika Matsumoto,
Such
the
a
Japanese
good-
voice of Ash Ketchum.
So good. Such a banger.
Ooh, I love the electronics on this
so
song.
good.
The synths sound fantastic, and of course,
It
the
feels-
vocals are amazing
it
too.
feels so
Just the
early
name,
2000s.
Alive Alive. It's like it's preparing me for a good J-drama.
Yeah.
Although my favorite parts are actually the visuals. Lots of mirrors and symbolism.
Yeah,
As
the
well as just looking
sparks.
cool in general. The best visual cue has to be where the faces of some people are censored, almost like saying anyone can be part of this battle.
Yes!
'Cause that-
Wait, I love that because, and I think that's why I ended up really liking Ryuki as well, because the fear of being in a battle royale where you don't know who is involved in it is anybody you walk by could be a rider and could want to kill you. And it adds to that stress level. And that made Ryuki so tense and feeling like a drama. Yeah, anybody could be your enemy. I mean, like, even your friends could be your enemy. I'm looking at you, fucking Knight, you know?
was the exact
Knight was like an enemy to Ryuki, like every other episode.
coming from the director. Whoa, wait, was that a kid?
Yeah?
That's, Anyway, a gorgeous theme for a gorgeous looking show. Yeah, I said it, and I'll say it again later. We get introduced to Ore Journal, made up of editor-in-chief Daisuke Okubo, systems expert Nanako Shimada,
Man,
and
classic
journalist
computers.
Reiko Momoi. Hope you remember their names, because I'm barely gonna bring them up, but they're cool.
I was gonna say unfortunate, yeah.
They also have a trainee named Shinji Kido, who's at a traffic accident right now, arguing with some guy.
Some dude, yeah.
Even though Shinji wasn't involved and just wanted to be part of it anyway.
Yeah.
Shinji does seem like an excitable up-and-comer, happy to investigate and bring criminals to justice. He investigates a missing persons case which leads him to a nearby apartment. Inside is a small black box with cards in it. Shinji looks outside a window, noticing a red dragon flying in the reflections of the buildings.
There it
While following
is.
Shinji comes across Reiko's
Try to
card
do your
tied
hair
in a
like
web,
Shinji's.
along with the spider inside the
Ooh.
reflection. The two people we saw in the cold opening are here. Then the man in black grabs his own black box. Although the nearby woman is surprised that Shinji can see the monster and asks if Shinji is a Kamen Rider. Whoa, we haven't had the Kamen Rider title name drop like that in Kuga or Agito. Interesting.
Ironically, it's actually something I've been thinking about a lot recently, where like there's a lot of the seasons that we've been watching in the Heisei era that feel like they're afraid of using the phrase Kamen Rider. Like, I don't remember if did they mention like actually Kamen Rider in Kabuto, or do they just always refer to them as the names of their things, and it's the Masked Rider system? And then Den-O, they just always call him Den-O. You know? They said riders sometimes. It's like the weird thing. It's like, why don't they want to say the name? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Seeing how it's finally said out loud.
Yeah.
Shinji gets blinded by his box and gets absorbed into the car, traveling towards another dimension and gaining gray armor. He arrives into the mirror world where everything is, well,
Mirrored. Yeah,
In
makes
our
sense.
world, the man in black
I think they
steps
did
in
both
front
for
of the
Kabuto.
mirror
Okay, I couldn't
and
remember.
transforms into a Kamen Rider.
The simplicity of it is just so good. It just looks good, you know?
He's called Kamen.
I forgot about how weird this thing looked. The simplicity of like strike a pose, scream henshin, slot it into the belt, and then the thing flips around and then just goes on to you. Looks good. It's aged well. Easy to enjoy. Yes, it is Batman.
Kamen Rider Knight, and he arrives into the mirror world saying that Shinji hasn't made a contract with the monster yet. So Knight fights the spider by himself by calling a weapon. One thing that's new are sounds for rider gear.
So
Well,
good.
Sort of new. There was one sound for G3X's gigantic gun.
Oh, the
so it may have inspired more sound effects for weapons. I wasn't really expecting to hear jingles or booming voices like in more modern seasons of Kamen Rider, but I also wasn't expecting to hear a completely normal voice for the rider weapons, which brings me to say, I don't really like the sound design for this season.
Wait, really? I love you put the card in and they go Soldo Vento, Final Vento, Survivor. Like, I loved it. But I'm also I don't want to say audiophile, but like I am definitely the target audience for hearing dumb sound effects where you don't necessarily need them. It's like, even though it's stupid and dumb, I don't need like the Power Rangers like whoosh, 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 when they're doing everything. I like those too. Like it makes my brain happy.
The mirror noise is one thing.
Oh, I'll 100% agree with that. I'm with you on that one. The mirror noise sucks.
Completely normal tone for the gimmick is, for the lack of a better word, boring. Maybe it's because I was spoiled by how modern jingles sound, but I really can't knock it that much considering this is the first time they're actually adding voices in for everything.
I think that's fair.
I'll give it a very reluctant pass for now.
Yeah.
After defeating the monster, Knight and Shinji start fading. Knight explains that their time is short. If they stay for too long in this world, they may fade away forever. They both leave the mirror world, but Shinji wakes up in a cafe where he gets some answers. The woman is Yui
after
Kanzaki.
Passing out.
She says that the black box is a card deck and questions.
I like the very crisp sound that the visors and inserting the decks into the V-buckle. I agree with that. I'm with you on that one. Like that, the haptic feedback that you hear and almost feel from them putting the buckle in. I agree.
Shinji knows anyone named Shiro Kanzaki, though Shinji says no. Anyone that has a deck can sense and see mirror world monsters. The owners of these decks are also Kamen Riders. The man in black, Kamen Rider Knight, is named Ren, and he doesn't want Shinji to get involved, but Yui says that Shinji's already involved since a monster attacked him.
Yeah,
Monsters
I was gonna say, it's kind of too late for that.
Have been attacking people from our world, which explains why people have been disappearing. But Kamen Riders can use seal cards to, well, seal away monsters. Otherwise, monsters don't give up until they capture their target. So, we've had unidentified life forms and unknown. What are these mirror monsters called?
Are they just monsters?
Unrecognizable creatures? No, they're actually just called mirror monsters.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
After a monster is sighted, Shinji sees Ren fighting through a reflection and wants to fight just like him.
Yeah.
But Yui tells him not to. Once he contracts a monster, Shinji can't go back. Being the oh-so-relatable protagonist, Shinji accepts what's gonna come next. Yui hands him a deck and a contract card. Shinji stands in front of the reflection and holds out the contract card in front of him. The red dragon that's been following him flies out of the mirror world and into the deck.
I love that he just flies into it though. Like the dragon's just like, yeah, this is for me. This is my card now. Honestly, also Ryuki blank form is oddly my favorite color scheme for Ryuki because I'm a sucker for blues, my favorite color. Really number one in Ryuki. Nice. Is Ryuga. Oh. I see.
Turning Shinji's gray armor into red, officially becoming Kamen Rider Ryuki. Ryu meaning dragon, and Ki being short for Kishi, meaning knight, dragon, knight.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Marcus. Don't smile at me.
Dragon Knight. Masked Rider Dragon Knight. Now's a good
There it is.
Now to talk about the aesthetics so far. You've most likely noticed that this video is in 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And that's how Kuga through Blade were filmed, though Blade was technically 48, but semantics. I don't really have anything to say other than I miss the higher frame rate, though it does make the bad CGI stand out even worse.
It does.
If I ever remake the videos for those seasons, then I'll try to update the frame rate, but no promises. It was difficult to get this Ryuki footage in the first place.
Yeah, I can imagine. I noticed it right away. I can tell you it's very noticeable and it feels way better for it.
And I really hope you guys enjoy it because, man oh man, is rendering going to take forever on this.
Yes, it would have.
So about the suits.
Oh my god.
I didn't really like them at first, but they've grown on me the more I saw them on screen.
I think it's fair to dislike them to some capacity because it does have one of the problems that I think the Kuga and Agito suits had, which is the top half and the arms look dope, and then it's just like a pair of pants like below that, you know. it is definitely one of those like frustrating things of I feel like there's more missing here. And I've had that feeling with Zets as well, where it's like, here's a suit, here's big shoes. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it feels kind of naked, but the top hat do look pretty good. It do look pretty good. Oh, Roy being 48 FPS. I think all my stuff's in 60. I think both the videos that I've done so far have been in that. I think so. The helmet's cool, but the body isn't for me. I like the pauldrons. I like the gloves. I think the dragon like head as the gauntlet kind of bracer looks really good. The chest piece does feel weird. I feel like it should go down a little bit further. I'll give you that. But I do like this a lot.
Like I said in the beginning, the designs were created to be far from the Showa era, and I think they're overall pretty good. Although Ryuki in particular is probably my least favorite the writers will see. It's a little...
Which is very ironic, but I also do get that feeling. Knight looks so good. I'm trying to remember the other ones, because it's been so long since I've... Like, I can remember the animals they represent, but I can't remember, like, the names of them, because it's just been so long since I've watched it. Is it Olja? The snake, right? Yeah, Olja's the one that I remember being like, that shit was fire. But I also really like purple. Shouts to purple. Gotta be one of my favorite colors, you know?
Too simple, but the writers of the season are supposed to be knights, so I think Ryuki's armor fits with everything else.
Yeah.
Knight suit, or a Kamen Rider knight suit, is absolutely beautiful.
It's so good.
The dark shade of blue matches his bat motif, and the European knight look is perfect.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Fun fact, you probably can't see them very well, but there are compound eyes under the visor.
Oh, I don't know if I ever noticed those. Yeah, like right here. Whoa. Because I noticed them for Ryuki. Because Ryuki's is just obviously because red. Whoa. I don't think I ever noticed these.
Once we see more riders, you're going to start to notice more similarities between each other, like how each suit have round silver enclaves somewhere. As for the transformations, again, a little too simple.
I like the simplicity, but I think it's just because it doesn't waste time. You know what I mean? I understand like wanting more from the henshins. I think it's a completely valid point. I like just being able to throw your arm to the side and go henshin, and just that's it. You're good. Plus, it's aged well. You know.
I know it's because of how dated the show is, but I think even back in 2002, the belts being photoshopped onto the users looked pretty bad.
That did look bad.
The belts themselves look cool.
The belts look good.
Basic, with only a logo and color to differentiate between riders. Now, if only I could find one that doesn't cost me my life savings.
I've seen so many videos of like somebody having like the belt on and then just slots in the thing, and I'm like, oh!
You might be wondering how he went from Kuga and Agito's mystical belts to cards. Well, I can't find a specific source on this, but Bandai was supposedly getting inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all things. There are reasons.
Really?
Of course. For one, cards are cheap.
Yeah.
2, they're easier to implement when it came to marketing. And 3, cards are collectible.
I was about to say.
The idea to make cards the gimmicks must have gotten a raise because Ryuki had the highest sales numbers for a while.
I'm not even remotely
being beaten out by Den-O.
What were they sell? The weapons? Then it was one belt with 4 buttons.
Years later, gee, gimmick toys must really be helping Toei and
Trains?
Bandai.
Fuck, you're right. Oh, you're so right. Oh, wait, never mind. Redacted. Of course. My bad. Trains. Of course it's trains.
In the long run, huh? Alright, well. To look more closely at the belts, they're called V-Buckles, the transformation belt of the season. I used to think they were too simple at first, but now I really want to see a SEM version. I do have a DX one and it looks great regardless. It might even be one of my favorite belts.
It's pretty good.
Of course, we also have the card holders, the Advent decks. Again, simple and sleek. Even though I have the DX version, I had to have at least one CSM deck. Here they are for comparison. And no,
so nice
I won't
looking.
even attempt to hold these in front of a mirror. Too risky. For the season,
I like that.
The right shooters are used to get into the mirror world. They were designed in a way to specifically avoid bike action, since, and I quote, getting on and fighting while riding a motorcycle is fading. Man, and people complain that modern riders don't have bike action anymore. Oh yeah, they're right shooters.
Yeah, I didn't like these. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember them being like part of the series for super long. I don't hate them, but they definitely feel like, let's get into this, go into a CG thing, sell you this thing, and then like that's it. You know?
They're okay. The
Yeah.
pace between the mirror world and our world looks cool though.
Yeah.
After Shinji does a super mega awesome rider kick, Ren faces
That's a really
Shinji
good one.
wanting a fight, but are stopped as Yui smashes a window. Ren says that Kamen Riders don't fight monsters together. Riders can't coexist. Yui explains that her parents died when she was younger, and her brother went traveling, so she rarely sees him. Though Shinji recently saw her brother in a mirror, who told Shinji to defeat the other riders and survive. It's also quite a meme of how often this is said, but you're gonna hear "tatakai" so many times, but at least that's one more Japanese word I learned.
That's so true, though. Ryuki's such an iconic kick. Yeah, Ryuki's rider kick, I think, is like, it's so good, you know?
Yui's brother is Shiro Kanzaki, the one who created the card decks. Yui doesn't know why Kanzaki is making riders fight each other, but she also thinks that Kanzaki is making monsters attack people. In an empty store, we see a mysterious man pull out a deck with a symbol of a crab on it, and a monster appears in a mirror. After defeating a mirror monster, Shinji notices a ride shooter appear with a new Kamen Rider that we've never seen before. Ren later recognizes him as Kamen Rider Scissors. First off, ew. The suit looks top heavy and uncomfortable to wear, but
I kind of don't disagree with you. This suit is weird, to say the least. This suit is weird, especially in the helmet. The chest piece is okay. The pauldrons look weird. The head looks weird. I like the color, I guess. Yeah.
Blocking crab like it is because, you know, it is supposed to be a crab. For
yeah.
some reason, scissors became this huge meme in Japan where like certain people are super obsessed with him just because it's scissors. I don't know. I think it's really funny. Ren and Shinji assume that the owner of an antique shop was the writer, but that isn't the case when Shinji finds the owner's corpse in a wall. Scissors' real user is Suda Masashi, a corrupt detective that uses his job to cover up for his own criminal activity. Suda is a man that wishes to have more power, so he kills people to feel that power. Ren, Shinji, and Sudo confront each other. Shinji, showing a bit of character, just wanted to fight monsters, not other riders, but Sudo did something unforgivable, so Shinji must fight.
I didn't realize Shinji had his ears pierced. Huh? It's so tiny. I didn't realize that.
Though Ren says that they must fight because they're riders, not because Sudo did something that Shinji didn't
it's too small. I agree. I like the different arm poses for everybody.
Ren uses a final vent attack and lands a direct hit on Sudo. The scissors deck cracks. The contract is over. Masashi Sudo is eaten alive by his contract
I forgot that it's like he just eats him.
Monster. As I thought since the beginning, Kamen Rider Scissors was created to be an introduction to this world, showing the basic rules and more importantly, showing that death is a real stake here. And then we see a tease of the next rider, a green one with the symbol of a bull.
I like this suit.
We see a news story about a lawyer named Kitaoka, who was later chased by some men in suits.
Oh my god, a lot.
It seems like this isn't Kitaoka's day as he runs into Shinji's bike. Shenanigans happen and Kitaoka explains that he got involved in some shady politics, which is why people are chasing after him.
Zolda, my boy.
He's also pretty full of himself, saying he's photogenic and proud that he got guilty people to plead innocent. The suited men eventually surround Kitaoka and Shinji again, so Kitaoka
I don't know if
says
that's a good thing.
One thing left to do. Get on your knees and beg for forgiveness.
That too.
They're about to get jumped until a man named Goro arrives to help them. It seems like Goro is about to transform, but in reality, he just beats up the other guys. Just so
Why does he look so familiar? Obviously, like, I know him from the series. Like, I recognize him. No, I know it's his boyfriend. Like, I know that. Is he in anything else? He's from Kabuto? Is it, it's, what's it called? Mishima, right? Oh, that's it! Look at that! Wait, I didn't even remember that. Holy shit, dude. Whoa. Yeah, the glasses guy. You could, it's the eyes. It's the eyes that was getting me. Because he glares like this in Kabuto all the time. Oh, great. I really liked him in Kabuto, how much of an asshole he was, but I also really liked him in this too, so.
About to transform, but in reality, he just beats up the other guys. Just so I won't have to explain it later, Goro is Kitaoka's servant, butler, friend,
boyfriend.
One of those three.
Okay, I'm back with the yaoi. Okay, I understand yaoi more into this now. Okay, never mind.
Kitaoka and Shinji hear mirror noise, so they go their separate ways and transform.
Nice.
Kitaoka is Kamen Rider Zolda. This is probably my favorite of the rider suits for this season.
It's good.
Aside from green being my favorite color,
it's good.
It just looks so sleek, raw, and futuristic all at the same time.
The futuristic look looks really good, and also he's got these like little bits of extra like armored. I know it's like just a knee pad and like shin guards, but that little bit adds so much. I will say I think my least favorite thing about it is the horns. I wish they didn't look as much like antenna. I wish they maybe had like an actual horn aspect to them. But I think the suit is really good. It's super unique. It stands out. Really good.
It's not too bulky, but it seems like it can pack a punch.
Yeah.
Despite the rider designs of the season straying away from show.
That was for the bull part. No, I'm saying I wish they were more bull-like. Yeah. I wanted them to be more bull-like. I didn't want them to just be antenna.
Rider designs,
because they don't look like horns.
Kamen Rider Ichigo reference with our trio of riders. Check out Ryuki's compound eyes underneath his visor, Knight's chin strap, and Zolda's antennas. As for Kitaoka,
oh, is that the reason? Wait, I need to see Knight's
eyes underneath his visor, Knight's chin.
Oh, this thing. Oh, I see. Yeah, and then I wanted these to be actual horns, but I see it now.
Antennas. As for Kitaoka, he was originally going to be written as a doctor, showing that someone we're supposed to trust turns out to have evil intentions. But there was already a doctor writer in Nagito, so Kitaoka became a lawyer. Meaning that
I think lawyer fits him more. The character that developed with him being a lawyer in mind, I think fits so much better. And what up, CS? Or CJ, rather?
He always had bad intentions anyway.
Yeah.
To add to the different intentions, Kitaoka explains
Kudo-chan's actor looks a bit like Ryu's actor from Akito.
Or evil. He just
I think it's because of the hair. It's definitely because of the hair.
Money and loves human desire. Kitaoka loves to see what people want from him. However, Shinji says that it's kind of selfish to live by your own desire. Kitaoka doesn't believe that Shinji knows anything about him. After all, Shinji is just a normal, commonplace person. Kitaoka and Ren have a run-in with each other, though Ren's a bit smarter than Shinji, so he immediately realizes that Kitaoka's a writer, meaning that they're gonna have to fight eventually. Each rider has a reason to be in this battle, and Kitaoka's wish is for eternal life. Soon after, we have a scene of Kitaoka leaving a hospital room. We overhear a nurse saying that Kitaoka is untreatable and may die soon. What about Ren?
I both loved and hated that as a revelation, because it comes so soon after being introduced to him as a character that it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't get connected. Like, he's gonna die anyway. Like, why should I care? But then it's like seeing him survive so long is crazy. But it feels like, I feel like it would have been nicer if we got that maybe like, not even that many episodes after this. I'm just saying not immediately as he was introduced. You know what I mean?
His motive for fighting is a bit of a sad one. He carries
it is a key to his character. Yeah, but I'm saying like we didn't have to learn that right away. I'm gonna give us like 10 episodes, you know? It's a very minor gripe. Very minor gripe.
They're his and his fiance's, Eddie. She was attacked by a monster, which led to Kanzaki offering Ren a deck. Ren fought alone for the longest time, until he came across Yui, finding out that she's Kanzaki's sister.
Yep.
In the end, we see that Eddie is in a coma. Moving forward, Ren goes out into the city and sees a guy using a coin for a trick. This man is a fortune teller who says his predictions are always accurate and is willing to say them, even if they're as grim as a woman dying in 3 months. The fortune teller, Tezuka Miyuki, sits next to Ren and
I
pulls
wonder.
out a deck.
I was gonna say, I wonder if he's a writer, guys. Come
asking
on.
if Ren is truly willing to kill someone. Tezuka then goes to the cafe to introduce himself to Shinji and the group. Tezuka is a lot like Shinji in that he simply wants to stop the riders from fighting each other and believes their powers should only be used to defeat monsters.
I don't know if I'm biased in this because I've been watching Den-O and I feel like there aren't as many scenes like this. Like, Den-O definitely does have some nighttime scenes. But like, look how, like, we have lighting here and it's clearly nighttime while they're inside. And it's just, this is like a sunset shot, like during day. I feel like the time of day differences looks really good. I don't remember it being that good, you know? Budget? Yeah, probably. And they did end up making money, so.
Fighters from fighting each other and believe.
Man, I can't wait to watch the Fives video and just shit all over it. Marcus Nuts is going to be so mad at me. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a different opinion about it.
Their powers should only be used to defeat monsters. Weirdly enough, Tezuka was written to be a monk, but that didn't really fit in this group.
Not
so he
at all.
became more of a common fortune teller. Shinji gets a tip about masked men fighting each other on a harbor, but it's too late.
Masked men fighting each other.
Fallen. A stranger wakes up to Shinji, saying that he created this game in order to give these people something to do, all while funky, upbeat music is playing.
I don't know why I thought that was Kai for a second. Maybe it was just the expression.
Shinji realizes that the stranger is a Kamen Rider. The two hear mirror noise and transform. The stranger is Jun Shibata, and he's Kamen Rider Guy. Guy's suit is a bit strange, but I like it enough. Gray is a pretty cool color scheme, and I love how the rhino motif is incorporated.
Very
into the
rhino.
suit. It's also creative.
That's not Kai, that's Guy. My bad. My bad, okay?
He uses his cards by sliding them into his shoulder piece. Even though I feel like Guy doesn't really fit into Jun's personality as a criminal mastermind, I still think Jun is a great character. Real quick, the action for Ryuki is pretty good. For the most part. You can definitely tell that more thought was put into these fight scenes than Agito ever has.
I would say so.
Too shaky, and you can just feel the raw action of these people fighting in their own war.
And I think the benefit of it too is because you see super early from the get-go that people die in this death game, you know the stakes are a lot higher. Whereas like with Kuga and Agito, like civilians die, but riders didn't really die until they get revived, and then it doesn't count. Yeah, people die when they're killed. Yeah, exactly.
Jun seemingly just wants power like Shido, but Jun is more smart about it, I think.
Sure.
He wants people to fight for his own amusement and even tries to replicate his death game on a bigger scale, until his plan is foiled almost immediately, so there goes that. Kitaoka gets a call to take a case on an important certain client. He stops by a prison. Inside, a man named Takeshi Asakura bangs his head against the window.
There he is!
For an interview by Kitaoka.
There he
Asakura
is!
was sentenced to 10 years and has a hatred for Kitaoka since he's Asakura's lawyer and wasn't able to lower the prison sentence. Asakura says he was arrested because he was vexed, which, by the way, Asakura's favorite word is vex. Then Kitaoka visits his next client.
Makes sense.
Jun. Kitaoka mentions that he saw a deck in Jun's possessions. The two stare at each other, but Jun doesn't feel like fighting today. It's these little interactions that kind of make me enjoy the show.
Wait, Jun does look familiar. I need to look his actor up. Wait. Kamen Rider Ryuki Jun. And Satoshi Ichijo. Is that all he's been? It's just Kamen Rider Guy and Ryuki? Why does he look so familiar? He just seems so familiar, you know? Maybe he's just got one of those faces. You just think you know the guy, right?
Back at the prison, Kanzaki walks into Asakura's cell.
It's so funny though, because like we just keep running into things that we like, actors that we recognize, right?
To give Asakura
it's the hair,
a
it probably
chance,
is.
Since Asakura's wish is to beat Kitaoka. Kanzaki outright calls Asakura a loser, but he is pure anger and can become the lone winner. Kanzaki hands him a purple deck. Sirens start
Yeah,
playing. The purple
purple.
rider walks down a corridor. So there's our next rider in this battle, Kamen Rider Oja.
Yeah.
Snake King, or Cobra. Huh. Asakura gets his signature snakeskin jacket by stealing it from a store. I actually love Asakura as a character, but we haven't had a full-on criminal as a Kamen Rider. Not like this. He was originally written to be an inmate on death row, but that was a bit too much for a kid's show.
I think that's fair. I think they probably still could have done it, or they could have just made it vague and like been like, you know, like how long is he in for? And you kind of just go, well, son, you know, like something like that, you know.
Well, that doesn't stop Asakura from taking an
Yeah, exactly,
store
Ryuga.
hostage at gunpoint as the police surround him. Jun meets Asakura and explains everything about the Rider War, including how they're supposed to kill each other. And luckily, Kitaoka is a rider. Suddenly, Asakura's gears start turning. This is really intense. Shinji is in a hostage situation against one of the craziest antagonists so far. There are real stakes here because they can't just transform to save civilians. These aren't people in suits fighting with explosions in the background. These are people facing a man that is willing to kill them without batting an eye.
Yeah.
There are lots of close-up shots that make you feel claustrophobic, uncomfortable, and unsettled.
We talked about budget before, but you really do feel it in Ryuki. Ryuki, like, maybe that's why I really like this, because of how different it felt, you know, like with shots like these.
Accompanied by silly, upbeat, funky music. The police
I don't know if I would have said that's funky, upbeat music. That's more like jazzy bass line for like detective crime kind of stuff. That's what I was thinking. Like, that reminds me of like Law and Order music, you know?
throw smoke bombs, allowing Asakura to escape. Then most of our riders face off. Jun wanted an alliance with Asakura, but Jun should have been more careful with who he talked to, because now he's an easy target for Asakura.
I do kind of hate that finisher, though.
Kanzaki notes that Tezuka hasn't been fighting as much.
I do kind of hate that.
To incentivize him, Kanzaki hands him a card with a wing on it. Kanzaki says that if Tezuka doesn't fight, the next person to lose will be him. The card says, survive.
Survivor.
The cafe, Tezuka makes a prediction. He lights a match. The next rider to go is him. For a bit more exposition, Tezuka says that 10 years ago an explosion occurred at a nearby house. The parents died, a young boy was injured, but a young girl seemed fine. The two kids may have been Kanzaki and Yui. Oh, now that we got to this point, real quick, Yui and Shido's last name is Kanzaki, and I know I should be calling him Shido, but I've been so used to calling him Kanzaki, I really hope you guys don't mind that I just keep calling him Kanzaki instead of his first name, you know, Shido. So, anyway, I got a
No, fix it right now.
comment about that a while ago, and well, there you go. Tezuka then says that he became a writer in place of his friend, who is now dead. Tezuka's friend was named Saito Yuichi. He was a pianist
I
that
remember
was given
this.
a deck by Kanzaki. However, Yuichi never used a contract card, so he paid the price, right in front of Tezuka. Yuichi's wish would have been to heal himself, more specifically, his hands. There was concept art on Yuichi's rider form, which would have been called Kamen Rider Blade before there was an actual Kamen Rider Blade. Tezuka puts on a brave face, but knows that his own time is almost up, so he gives Ren the Survive card as a parting gift. The final battle that Tezuka has is against Asakura. Shinji tries to help, but Asakura already took aim and kills Tezuka. Meanwhile, Ren decides to face off against Asakura, but this time, Ren is going to use Tezuka's help
Survivor.
Survive card.
Oh, it's
During
so
the
good.
night-
Wait, we gotta go back. Oh, it's so pretty. The Survive suits are so good. Yes. Oh man, yeah, the cape goes hard. The blue is much more visible. Oh my god, it's so good.
During one night, multiple mirror monsters appear, although one of them looks very familiar. Shinji is working on his computer and hears a mirror noise. He notices that he didn't use his bike to enter the mirror world this time. Then Kitaoka, Ren, and Asakura arrive to help. But it's weird that Asakura says that they're here to help in the first place.
I remember this is such a funny moment. because of how like fake it is.
There they say that they fight to protect humanity's freedom. Suddenly, a new rider appears. It's Kamen Rider Agito in his burning form, the ruler of the miracle world. Then a second Agito appears. The real Agito that sounds nothing like Shoichi. With the power of friendship and Asakura's wonderful spin,
Yeah,
they
the
defeat
spin!
fake Agito.
It's so
Along with this
good.
really
Just curious, are we talking about Dragon Knight 2? No. I also haven't seen it, so it's a little bit harder for me to talk about it. I do want to watch it at some point. I just need to find a legal way to watch it, you know? But thank you for the super.
cool double rider kick. Ren, Asakura, and Kitaoka say that they're happy to have met Shinji. Everyone poses and everything is good again. Then Ren wakes Shinji up. If the weirdness didn't give it away, this is a hyper battle video for the season.
I think I've only seen this through clips, unfortunately. I never watched the hyper battle because I didn't know what hyper battles were at the time, you know?
Kamen Rider Ryuki versus Agito. It's not exactly the crossover I was hoping for, since we only see the Agito suit and the voice isn't from the original actor, plus the quote-unquote real Agito only shows up for a minute to do his rider kick. Of course, it's not a necessary watch, but it's fun. Plus it's short, so if you're interested at all, then it's worth your time.
I like hyper battles. I think they're fun. The first hyper battle I watched specifically was the Kabuto hyper battle, because I just think Hyper Attack was... I don't love the Hyper Attack suit, but I liked the premise around it, and it was silly. It was goofy. I had a good time. I was able to, you know, turn my brain off a bit.
In a later episode, Ren, Shinji, Kitaoka, and Asakura all begin to fight.
Funny.
Asakura is about to use a final vent, but a bright light surrounds them with a gold rider floating from it.
Ooh. Fize's hyper battle is a musical. Ooh.
This is Kamen Rider dang it. I mean Odin. Kamen Rider Odin.
What's the joke here? Wait, what's the joke here? Did I forget it? It has been a while since I've seen Ryuki. Movento. Raw like the sun god? Oh, could be. Oh, Wrath in Dragon Knight. Oh, I see.
His suit is gorgeous, and it should, since he's the last of the 13 riders. No, Siri, I didn't say anything. What the heck? How did Siri activate from that?
Oh my god.
He's the final boss that's able to fight 4 riders by barely lifting a finger. Odin tells them that it's not time to fight him yet, and they should continue fighting each other. However, a small correction needs to be made. Odin uses a time vent card. Kanzaki is at his old house, and notices that one of Yui's drawings was torn. Shinji wakes up at the cafe. He sees Ren and Yui, but they don't recognize him.
Oh.
Shinji looks at the calendar and notices that it's February, the month when he first became a writer. Shinji has gone back in time to relive every event again. This episode is basically just a clip show, but I admit that it's pretty clever, and it does end up with at least a somewhat satisfying conclusion.
I always like these types of situations. It's what I've really enjoyed about Kamen Rider Zets as well. I like the kind of, let's repeat, but we have the knowledge of what happened. You know?
Along the episode, we get scenes of Shinji remembering something and trying to stop it, but Kanzaki makes him lose his memories again, so Shinji would interfere with the flow of things. Then when Shinji is able to actually change a small piece,
regression.
It ends up in the same place as before. And since we're going through the same thing again, allow me to catch up on a few things. First, Kamen Rider Raya, Tezuka's rider.
He's a stingray, right?
It's definitely a stingray, alright. I really don't know what else to say about it. It's basically just another suit to me.
It is not great. I'm not gonna lie. It's the shoulder pads are huge. They kind of remind me of Kuga's. The chest piece feels way too big. And the headpiece also looks really weird. It is pink. And I love pink. But I really don't like this one.
It's basically just another suit to me. I do like the markings on the torso, though. Next, Kamen Rider Oja.
Yeah, Oja's so cool. So good.
This suit is so shiny.
So
and purple
good.
is a nice color. I especially love the helmet and markings on it. It's overall not a bad suit.
The only thing I don't like about Oja is quite literally, I think the rider kick finisher, like his final vent is so like, brother, stop kicking your legs like that. You look like an idiot.
I'd buy a figure of him. And finally, Knight Survive. Man,
so
I already
good.
love the base Knight suit.
Knight
The Survive form
Survivor.
is just so cool.
Yeah,
it adds
Survivor
a bigger
is
piece
so
of the torso
dope.
and a slightly new helmet, but the colors and the way the edges pop look great.
It's
Now for a
amazing.
bit of trivia. Remember when I said that at one point all 13 riders weren't planned to appear in the show in the first place? An example of that would have been at Oja's debut, where it was said that he would have already defeated Guy and Raya off screen. That would have been really lame, so I'm glad they gave actual characters of those riders. There are 3 riders we don't get to see in the actual show and rather in other media, but I'm still happy we got to see each rider in one way or another. Back to the show. Events play.
I was gonna say I remember seeing some more in the movie, but maybe I didn't see 13 Riders. Maybe I only saw the other one. Were there 2 Ryuki movies? Because I know there's the one that's like the one with like that's an alternate ending to the show, a special and a movie. Ooh, maybe I just didn't see the other one. Maybe. I don't know.
Is normal, then it gets to the point
we'll
where
out.
Odin makes his first appearance, but this time Shinji is able to land a hit on him. As time flowed, Shinji has been writing, "When you see gold feathers, punch behind you." Then Shinji says that something else has changed. The burden of the fallen riders has doubled, so Shinji will fight even harder this time. Odin leaves. Yeah, okay, that was pretty satisfying. By the end, we see that Yui's drawing is no longer ripped. It's now a drawing of Yui and Kanzaki smiling. Some episodes later, Kanzaki decides to give Shinji a survive card. You know, Shinji, the guy who opposes Odin the most and was actually able to fight back. Shinji, the protagonist that has a high chance of winning the game. Shinji, get in the damn Rider War Keto, who has always been reluctant to fight at all. That guy. Sakura came on.
Yeah, but that's like it's the point is to incentivize him to fight more. Just like he was trying to get Tezuka to fight more. That's the reason he gave him the survive card in the first place. Yeah.
Like he was Kanzaki's favorite for having nothing but fighting on his mind, and he didn't get a survive card. It would have been cool if he or Kitauka got survive cards, because there are some concepts with them, but oh well.
I will say I do agree. It is sad that not everybody that was left at this point got survive cards. It would have been nice to see. But even then, like, it definitely it's the screaming joke of Tatakai for Shinji, you know?
Handed a power-up just cuz. Later on in the same episode, Ren, Shinji, and Yui have fun for once in an amusement
For once!
Then Ren wants to fight Shinji. Like, right now. It can't wait.
Now.
They absolutely need to fight right now and ruin the one day of fun they had together. So now's the time for Shinji to transform.
So good. Yeah, you have to use the messed up audio for this.
Such a cool backdrop for Ryuki Survives
It's
debut.
so good.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything good to say about the suit, so I'll move on.
Oh. Okay. I like it to some capacity. It does not hit the same as Knight's upgrade. I think the arm guards look better. I kind of like the helmet. I don't know why it has antenna. That feels weird. The chest piece feels a little bulky. I love the blaster. Yeah.
About the suit, so I'll move on.
Yeah, the aura.
Shinji hears mirror noise that leads him to a university.
The aura's
lab.
good.
It seems to be a misunderstanding, as the only people there are a professor and some students.
I feel that.
Unfortunately, we don't see any students with a pompadour or a deep obsession with space. Shinji's about to leave when he
Space Kita? I haven't seen Forza.
bumps into someone.
They're
and
dragon
drops
whiskers?
papers,
Oh, okay,
and
okay,
reads a
okay,
paper
okay.
that says Mirror World. Shinji enters the mirror world while following some more mirror noise. He fights monsters, but then sees an axe flying through the air, and it belonging to a new rider, Kamen Rider Tiger. The suit isn't too bad. Blue and white are good colors, and the details
I remember
are fine
really
enough,
liking this one.
which is what I can say about the suit overall. It's fine enough. They go back to the real world, and Shinji notices that the professor from earlier, named Kagawa, is holding the Tiger deck. He says that the monsters were sent by Kanzaki to stop the lab because they're finding out how to seal the mirror world. That way, the monsters, as well as the riders, would cease to exist. Shinji wants to help, but Kagawa doesn't trust him.
I mean, fair enough. You just met the dude. It makes sense to not trust him. Also, it feels like we're so much later into the series, and this is Like, we still have another hour left in this video.
After fighting
Like, what
another
the heck?
monster, Shinji comes face to face with what appears to be another rider. The name of this pseudo rider is Alternative. For some reason, he isn't classified as a Kamen Rider despite having a user who says Henshin to transform into an armored hero. I honestly don't get it. First V1 and now Alternative? I would really like an official statement onto why they're not writers, but I can't argue with Toei, so... Hashtag make tackle a writer.
I think... Hashtag make tackle a writer. I think for this one, it's because in Ryuki, to be a Kamen Rider, you have to have been picked by... what's his name? Kenzaki. Wait, is it Kenzaki? No, that's Blade. What the fuck? Kanzaki, thank you. You had to have been picked by him. They made their own powers. So that's why it's alternative, you know? That's my mindset of it, you know?
I think it works because that's kind of what it's going for in the like,
Wait.
Hashtag
There we
make
go.
tackle a writer.
Just one letter off, thank you.
It looks really weird, almost like it was cobbled together in a day. But I think it works because that's kind of what it's going for in the first place.
It's very
But I
creepy
get
looking
to
too
it
in a
pretty
good
fast.
way.
Shinji goes back to the university
I
lab.
like it.
He tries to get Kagawa to trust him, but everyone in the lab pulls out the tiger deck. Kagawa says that sealing the mirror world requires heroic conduct, 10 lives or 1 life. What would be the choice to go with? Shinji stays silent. The courage to sacrifice one to save many is the obvious choice, says the professor. At the cafe, a young man...
This is also, I will say, one of the things I really liked about Ryuki, because Shinji is so obsessed with, like, I don't want to kill anybody, but also means he can't make the hard decisions. Yeah, like, he can't... There's so many other writers in the show that are willing to make that decision and don't make it as far as Shinji. And it's definitely the definition of a man trying to do his best, but is plagued by fear and doubt. And it's, yeah, the indecisiveness, I think, helps in this regard, where everyone else is like, I'm fighting for this, I'm fighting for this, I'm fighting for this. And he's like, bro, I don't want anyone to die. Why are we here? Yeah, but it works for once, you know?
Wants to become a part-timer there. Shinji recognizes him as Tojo Satoru, one of the students from the lab. Shinji pulls him aside to ask how to seal the mirror world. Tojo can't say. Shinji at least wants to know who Tiger is. Tojo can't say that either.
Of course.
But it seems like Tojo and his colleagues know about Ren being a Kamen Rider. After a fight with Alternative, Shinji asks why Yui is the target in the Rider War. If Yui is gone, the mirror world and the Kamen Riders will be gone too. Yui would be the one sacrificed to save the lives of many.
Or so they
and Shinji
think.
Fight again. This time Shinji giving an answer. Whether it's one or many, he will not let anyone be a sacrifice.
Yep.
Alternative attacks while Shinji's back is turned, but Tiger appears to defend Shinji. Tiger uses a final vent and kills Alternative. It turns out that Alternative was a random student from the lab, since Kamen Rider Tiger has been Tojo this entire time.
Yep. I love the arm movements for Tiger. Can we talk about that for a second? Wait.
Has been Tojo this entire time.
So, the hand turn at the last second gets me every time. So good.
Kagawa, who's known about Ren being a Kamen Rider, confronts him. The two stand in front of a window and transform, Kagawa becoming Alternative Zero. Ooh, bad boy. This is basically the same suit as a previous Alternative, but with some extra bits and pieces. This is the main arc that we'll be following almost to the end. Right now we're on episode 40. It seemed like time really...
I was about to say, I remember this being so much later. Because, like, we're not too far off from, like, the fated The episode, you know?
It flew by, huh? At first I was a bit taken aback by how much was thrown at me when the show was almost over. Ryuki Survive debuted a lot later than I was used to, and now we're introduced to a new group at the university lab. Keep in mind...
For the Survive, I think it's because they gave Night Survive first. So they needed to give Shinji a reason to deserve Survive or to, like, feel like he should have it.
that Kitaoka and Sakura are still in this battle, so it might be a bit overwhelming. But oddly enough, the story of the lab group fits in pretty well to me. It's mostly focused on Tojo and what his morals are when it comes to what being a hero means. The lesson is a bit too on the nose, especially when Kagawa tries to give off what being a real hero means, but Tojo not knowing that feeling. Still, everything else works with the rest of our riders.
I think so.
At the cafe, Shinji
Why does the
serves
tiger have an axe? He also has claws. I think it's just because everybody has a weapon, or at least most of them had a weapon, question mark. Like, Oja has a whip, which I guess for a cobra kind of works. You know, the Stingray had like a blaster. Freaking Zolda has like a cannon. So everybody has a weapon.
the guy who then hands him a business card, Mitsuru
Oh,
Sato.
this guy. I remember loving this guy. He's such a piece of shit and I hate him, but I love to hate this guy. Because I remember. Yeah. Freaking, oh my goodness gracious. Cause it's literally just like, hey, I'll do this. Like, pay me and I'll be your bodyguard kind of thing.
Kamen Rider Emperor. Okay, I feel like I've gotten better with my pronunciations ever since I actually started studying
Emperor.
Japanese, but I still don't get this writer's name. His katakana says Empera, which makes me think the intention was impaler, but it's also close to emperor. I guess I can keep saying impera, but I'm also just used to saying emperor. So please forgive me if I keep going back and forth on this.
Nah,
name.
you got
I
it.
just have no idea.
You're good,
When
Marcus
did Shinji
Zatsu.
sit down with this new writer? It seems like Mitsuru really idolizes the two and wants to serve
The way he dies is so sad. I kind of preferred it that way. I feel like it worked out better because he just was so flippant with everybody, you know?
them, but with a condition. Contract money. Ren immediately kicks him out. Then Mitsuru talks to Kagawa and Tojo with the exact same act he gave Shinji and
See?
Ren. But before he's able to bring up his money condition, they hear a mirror noise and Mitsuru transforms. This suit used to be my least favorite. The gazelle and boxer motif look great. Plus, I love the fur around the vest.
Yeah.
I'd say it's in my top 3, maybe even top 2. Now we just gotta find a Figma of it. Tojo then kills Kagawa. Yeah, that's it. Afterwards, Mitsuru gets a call. His dad is dead. Apparently, Mitsuru's dad was the president of a huge company, and now Mitsuru is the one to take his place. The next day,
Money
Mitsuru
time!
prepares for his new life as president. But Kanzaki is there waiting for him. Mitsuru only became a writer to have a happier life, but now that he's rich, he no longer wants to be part of the battle. Well, Mitsuru doesn't have to fight, but there will be consequences. Mitsuru has dinner with his workers, and he meets a young lady. She's cute and very sweet.
Hi,
It
Bun.
seems like for once, things are going right in Mitsuru's miserable life. He thinks
His death is too tragic when he realizes he doesn't want to fight. I think that's why I liked it from a story perspective, though, because it's like, he was just kind of a money-grubbing asshole in the beginning. And then he got the money and he's like, okay, well, I got what I wanted. I don't want to fight anymore. And it's like, bitch, you asked for this. Like, I don't know what to tell you, you know?
to himself that he will fight only to protect his lifestyle. Mirror noise. Mitsuru transforms in front of his lady friend and fights Shinji. Tojo arrives, but he just stands there.
Yeah,
Mitsuru
just
is getting
standing
beaten
there
down and he yells for
menacingly.
help. Tojo finally decides to help, so uses a final vent on Mitsuru,
Yeah.
saying that Mitsuru was the only one besides Kagawa to ever be nice to him, which is why he had to kill them. Mitsuru runs away. Asaka
There's the
arrives
hill.
and finishes off Mitsuru for good. The Emperor deck breaks. In his final moments, Mitsuru bargains for his life. He yells for the girl he was with, and manages to stand next to her in the mirror world. Mitsuru's final words are, "I just wanted to be happy." Ren gets a call from you.
And listen, I understand. I understand people are like, look, I just want to be happy, guys. Can we let him be happy? Listen, if someone ends up like a killer, if Oja turned around all of a sudden after killing a bunch of people and was like, guys, I changed my mind. I actually just want to be happy. Like, I don't feel bad for this guy. Is it sad? Sure. But like, you know what I mean? Brother entered a death game. He entered a death. He knew what was going on. Brother signed up for the Hunger Games, and then when he realized he had the money, he's like, "Wait, I changed my mind. I don't want to be in the Hunger Games anymore." Bitch, too late.
Yui.
Yeah.
She notices that she's fading.
But it is a good thing because it's a sad moment, you know? Don't like him, but still sad. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. So did Shinji. Yeah, but the difference is Shinji is still fighting. That's the difference. Shinji is still fighting, where the other guy is avoiding it.
Yui looks into a mirror and sees a young girl. The girl says that Yui disappeared on her 20th birthday, which is in 1 month. Yui remembers that she used to draw pictures of monsters that look similar to the writer's contract monsters.
Wow.
She figures that the writers, the monsters in the mirror
What up,
world,
Riven?
are all
Hi.
connected to her. If all this is true, then they now know Kanzaki's motive behind the writer war. Kanzaki doesn't want Yui to disappear. Then Shinji gets confirmation from the man himself. The only other person that can save Yui is Shinji. Tojo walks down a sidewalk and is about to cross the street, but he sees an oncoming truck about to hit a father and son. Tojo jumps to save them at the last minute. We then see a newspaper saying that a father and son were saved by a true hero. There aren't many writers left. The endgame has begun.
I love
Kamen
that.
Rider Ryuki. Hi everyone, it's Danny, and Kamen
Huh?
Rider Ryuki is one of my favorite shows. And
Huh? Marcus Archer, who is this? What they said their name was?
Kamen Rider Ryuki. Hi everyone, it's Danny, and,
Danny? Huh?
and Kamen Rider Ryuki is one of my favorite shows, and it's the first ever Tokyo I ever watched growing up, so it holds a very special place in my heart.
Sure.
The story has a pretty simple plot. 13 riders, and the winner gets granted one wish. But enough about the plot. It's the characters that run the show.
Sure.
Characters like the simple-minded Shinji, who just wants to stop all the fighting. The brooding Ren, who wants his girlfriend back. Even to the charismatic Kitaka, whose one wish is just to live forever. There's a character for everyone. There's so many other things
Fair.
that make Ryuki great, like the music, or the suit and monster designs.
True.
There's something for everyone, and that's why you should watch Ryuki.
I agree.
Thank you to Marcos for letting me be part of this video. He knows how much Ryuki means to me, so it's a great honor to be here and talk about my favorite show. So thank you, Marcos.
Pog.
Intermission. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, support their Patreon or YouTube.
Guys, don't forget, hit that thumbs up. Yippee.
Yada yada yada. More importantly, I wanted to share a quick story. One
Oh.
day, Rada of Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Came into our server and asked about a song that appeared in episode 8. It played on the radio and seemed pretty easy to find. However, it wasn't on the wiki. Audio tracking apps didn't work, and the lyrics were generic enough that nothing came up on Google.
Oh.
Until I came across One Song 60s through 70s Volume 1.
What?
And then...
Okay, why are you playing this music? We're gonna get a TMC. Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle.
To find, and it was
Audio Jungle!
in the first place.
Audio
But if
Jungle!
anyone has more info on this song called Paradise, then please
Audio
let me know,
Jungle!
and I'll talk about it sometime in
Audio Jungle.
So, let's get back to it.
Do you just want to talk about the song? Brother! Oh my gosh. Thank you, Riven.
From here, fate goes from several branches.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually how Ryuki got pitched in the first place. A gaiden, or side story, that branches off into several endings.
Yeah.
A couple of these endings come from written media such as novels and short stories in magazines. Let's go over those first. In the world of If, Kanzaki ends up being able to be the last rider standing, but at the cost of killing Yui. Despite being able to finally grant a wish, Kanzaki spends the rest of his life mourning Yui's death. In Advent Calendar, Shinji's twin brother joins in the Rider War as Kamen Rider Ryuga, but Shinji is the final
Ryugi.
rider standing,
Ryuga.
so his wish is to revive all the victims of the Rider War. Aside from those, we do have visual endings with specials and movies. The 13 Riders special is more of an abridged retelling of Ryuki's season, starting with Shinji barely getting into the Rider War as a replacement for a previous Ryuki. Viewers were able to vote on
Yeah, I
two
didn't see
different
13
endings,
Riders
a
then.
first for the franchise. In the first ending, Shinji is able to seal away the mirror world
Music's
for
from
good,
Persona.
but then goes crazy as he realizes the monsters and riders still exist. In the second ending, Ren dies and Shinji continues fighting in his place, most likely facing the same fate. This was the winning decision by about 100,000 votes. The 13
Damn!
Rider special introduces the exclusive rider, Kamen Rider Verde. It's a 1-hour special, so it won't take up too much time.
I might have to
it's
go back and watch
interesting
it.
as a shortened down what if for Shinji. Our next branch comes in the movie, episode final. On one rainy night, the cafe crew gather around to tell ghost stories.
I think this is the
It's
one that I
Shinji's turn to
saw.
tell a story, but his is more mysterious than scary. When he was young, he played at the park with a girl. They were supposed to meet up the next day, but it was raining, so Shinji
I think
couldn't
this is the
go.
one that I saw.
Somehow, the girl still appeared in his room. They played together, then he disappeared. The next day, Shinji investigates a case about a con man who's about to swindle a young woman named Miho. The two are about to apprehend the con man, but Miho takes off running. It turns out that she was the swindler the entire time. Shinji catches up with her and they both hear mirror noise. Miho then transforms into history's first female Kamen Rider. Not counting the female Agito that appeared for a second in the season, or Electro Wave Human Tackle that really should be a rider regardless of what Toei says. Where was I? Oh yeah, Kamen Rider Fam. The name's a little too on the nose there, Toei. Anyway,
Yeah, Fem. Kamen Rider Fem.
Anyway, the suit doesn't look too bad. It fits alongside the rest of the Ryuki riders.
Yeah,
Later
I'd say
on,
so.
Kanzaki gathers all the remaining riders. Kitaoka, Ren, Shinji, Asakura, and Miho. But Kanzaki says that there's still one more rider that they'll encounter very soon. For now, Kanzaki explains that time is almost up. They have 3 days until their wish can no longer be granted, so they must fight. And they do. After the fight,
And they do.
Miho tells Ren and Shinji that Asakura killed her older sister. Miho's motive to fight is to wish her sister back. Yuri remembered that she made a promise to a little boy that they would meet again at a park. The boy didn't show up, so she played with her mirror self. They played for too long, so the real Yui couldn't return. Mirror Yui offers a trade. They could go back to the real world, but the drawings they made would stay in the mirror world. Meanwhile, Miho and Asakura fight. It seems like Asakura is about to finish her off until a black dragon saves her.
Oh,
it belongs
there
to a
he
rider
is.
that looks like Ryuki, but with a black color scheme instead of red. This is Kamen Rider Ryuga, and I absolutely adore the suit.
So
I don't
good.
mind recolors all that much, at least not until we get to Kamen Rider Ghost, but for now the
Oh.
suit looks really cool. Ryuga is able to weaken Asakura to a point where we see the Oja armor turn gray. Miho takes the chance and destroys Asakura's deck. The Oja armor breaks, leaving Asakura exposed to the mirror world. Asakura pins Miho to the wall in a final attempt to fight, but he fades away before he can do anything. With another
Yeah, what a
rider dead,
bitch.
5 more remain.
You know that Fem originally was supposed to have high heels in the concept art? That sounds terrible. Ryuga... Well, Ryuki is Dragon Knight. I don't know what Ryuga is, though.
Kitaoka considers
Dragon
quitting
Fang?
the Rider War.
Ooh.
He and Goto go out to buy flowers for Reiko, but this time, Kitaoka leaves the Zola deck behind. Kitaoka officially forfeits the battle. 4 riders are left. Shinji and Miho
That I
go
did
on
remember
a
too.
date or something.
Yeah, something. It
Don't
sounds
ask,
right.
Don't really get it. Although we do get some cameos. Afterward, Shinji tries to throw Miho off a building, but it seems like time is up, as Shinji begins to fade. Except it's not the real Shinji. Mirror Shinji transforms along with Miho, and they fight in the mirror world.
There he is!
Mirror
Oh,
Shinji's
so
about
good.
to kill her until the real Shinji arrives to help. It seems like they're about to fight, but Miho's in bad shape, so they exit the mirror world. Before leaving, Shinji asks Miho if she's gonna quit the Rider War. She says she'll think about it. Miho waves goodbye and falls. Kamen Rider Fam is dead. The only riders in the war are Ren, Shinji, and Ryuga. Yui explains everything she possibly
Yep.
can to Ren and
Is Ryuki in the works for a revival movie like Fies? Oh, I don't know anything about that. Not sure. I don't think so. Because it was before Fies, so... In the Ryuki novelization, did you know that Asakura is real psychological killer? Really deep stuff. Oh, interesting. I only... See, this is the only alternate ending that I actually experienced in Ryuki. And the show one. And I didn't like either of the endings, so...
Shinji. The real Yui died in the mirror world, so Mirror Yui gave her life, but it only lasts until Yui's 20th birthday, which is today. At the cafe, Shinji realizes that Yui was a girl he was supposed to meet at the park all those years ago. Everything started because of him. All the deaths and tribulations were all because Shinji didn't keep his promise of meeting with Yui the next day. Yui sits down with the cake. Her brother is there to wish her a happy
I also
birthday.
didn't like that. Like, putting everything on Shinji for, like, something he did as a kid just felt so weird. Agito got a revival movie. I mean, yeah, for 30th anniversary, maybe. Or not 30th, 25th anniversary. Oh, my boy doesn't deserve that. Yeah.
Yui remembers all the times they had together. Kanzaki promises to give her new life. She blows out the candles.
Bye, Pikachu.
Yui committed suicide. Kanzaki disappears. With nothing left to do, Shinji and his mirror self fight.
Yeah.
They use their final vents, leaving only Ren and Shinji alive for the Rider War. A swarm of mirror monsters attack the city. Ren tells Shinji that he's never had anyone to call a friend. However, Shinji is someone he can say is his only friend. Ren asks Shinji to fight with him. Shinji just has one wish: don't die. The two use their survive cards and transform one last time to fight the mirror monster swarm. What happens after? That's for you to decide.
Yeah.
Fate has many branches, and this is only one of them.
I did not like that one because it just like shit hit the fan so fast. Like Yui taking her own life, it being Shinji's fault that the Rider War basically exists in the first place. Like there's so many things that just happen what feels like out of nowhere. And then all right, we're gonna go fight an impossible battle. Did we survive? Yes, no, probably not. And since Kanzaki is gone, who's gonna grant the wish? You know? It's not fun.
There are several different branches that
They're too
Ryuki could have
vague.
taken. What if Kanzaki was victorious with his plan to be the final rider? What if Shinji was the real victor of the Rider War? What if Shinji had the choice to seal the mirror world or continue fighting as Kamen Rider Knight? What if Ren and Shinji are the only riders alive to fight their own war against mirror monsters? However, we have another ending to go over. What does fate have in store for us? The last remaining riders gather. Ren, Shinji, and Asakura. Kitaoka is nowhere to be seen. Kanzaki explains that there are only 3 days
loses
left
to
in the
his
Rider
disease.
battle. Once those 3 days are up, the wish can no longer be granted.
Were you pissed with the ending's vagueness? I don't think pissed is the right word. I think disappointed because like up until so when I watched Ryuki, I didn't realize there were alternate endings. And even now, I didn't realize there were this many. I thought it was the show, the movie, and 13 Riders. And that was it. And I had never experienced 13 Riders because I just haven't watched it. But I thought that was it. I didn't realize there were novelizations. I didn't realize there was the seal the mirror world, or keep fighting. Like, that's, I didn't know. I think it's more that the 2 endings that I did watch for Ryuki, I didn't like either of them. And I was really enjoying I was enjoying Ryuki up until that point. And that's where I was kind of like, I wish it like, I wish a little bit better.
Mystery of the Kanzaki family is revealed. When Yui and her brother were young, they had neglectful parents that would shut them in the attic. All they would do in that time was draw. Eventually, Yui became ill and died. A mirror version of Yui asked to go over to the real world, but if she does, she will disappear on her 20th birthday.
That's what it is.
Kanzaki agrees, causing an explosion in the house, so Mirror Yui would never remember this incident. Yui tells Ren, Shinji, and Kanzaki that instead of drawing a world of monsters, she should have drawn a world where everyone was happy. Yui then fades away for the last time.
Once again.
Kitaoka tells
That is a story that I was okay with. Obviously, it's incredibly disappointing for Yui that she doesn't get a happy ending, but that felt right. Bye, Fairy. The main series ending is so tragic. It is, and I think I prefer it still. By the way, if you don't like Fies, and it's not the topic of the stream, but I really suggest watching Paradise Lost. A lot of people have told me that. It's not about the ending. It's not about the ending for Fies that I don't like. I don't like a lot of Fies. So unfortunately, it's not the ending that ruins Fies for me. But I've been told by a lot of people to watch Paradise Lost, and I'm like, I don't want to. Unfortunately.
Goro that he's thinking of retiring from being a writer. He tries to call Reiko to have dinner. However, Kitaoka doesn't have much strength in his hands. Still, Kitaoka prepares for his date, but says that he needs to settle things with Asakura. A swarm of monsters begin to attack the city. During the destruction, a little girl is left alone. Then she's saved by Shinji. However, the swarm is too much and Shinji ends up severely wounded. Ren and Shinji enter the mirror world, but Shinji begins to feel weak. He wakes up in the real world with Ren holding on to him. It seems like Shinji has finally found his answers. Shinji wants to close the mirror world. That would be Shinji's wish. With that, Shinji Kito succumbs to his wounds and dies. Kanzaki tells Ren that he needs to settle things with Odin as the final rider.
See, I loved this. At this point, I was like mind blown. I was like, this is tragic. Our titular character is dead, and it's just Ren as Kamen Rider Knight left over. Because obviously the naivete of thinking that you can save everybody ends up getting you killed in the end. And I like that as that's a very tragic story. But I don't like where it goes from here. At this point, I'm like, oh my god, Ryuki is going crazy. I love these characters. These stories have been great. This is amazing. I'm in it. You love that the main character died? Yeah, because I liked that Shinji as a character's number one flaw as a character was the naivete or the hubris that he could save everybody. And he's punished for it. Yeah, too selfless for his own good. It is something that we have seen in a flaw in Shinji throughout the entirety of Kamen Rider Ryuki. And I think him getting punished for it is... It's happened in the show. We've seen every character end up like that. Every character that acted in a certain way was punished for the negative qualities that they had. And even though Shinji meant well and is a good person, that's hubris. You know, it's naivete to think that you can save everybody constantly. And by not acknowledging this sooner, it cost him, you know? It's cool that being naive has consequences. Yeah, and I like that, and I like that feeling. And yes, it's dark, and yes, it's depressing, but I think it was a cool decision. Should the title really be called Kamen Rider Ryuki or Kamen Rider Knight? Since Knight technically like the big focus. No, I think still calling it Ryuki makes sense, because it is still the story is still told from his perspective, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think he would change it. I don't either. I mean, he saved that girl, you know. Is there something I spoiled for myself out of curiosity? I remember being shocked when I learned it. It's pretty insane, right?
Episode 50, A New Life. Asakura sees Zolda in the mirror, so he transforms. Asakura uses a final vent and is able to land a direct hit, but Zolda doesn't get up. The Zolda armor shatters and reveals Goro. Kitaoka lays on his couch, lifeless. Asakura stands in the real world. Guns are pointed at him. He picks up a metal rod and begins to run. Guns are shot. The psychotic killer Takeshi Asakura is now dead. Ren goes to Kanzaki's house. Kanzaki's saying that Odin is the stand-in since Kanzaki doesn't have a physical form anymore. Ren transforms and begins his final fight against Odin. Yui begs one last time for Kanzaki to stop. He finally realizes that everything is done, and everything he will ever do is for Yui, and it's been pointless. Kanzaki
since she's gone,
making Ren the last Kamen Rider standing.
And there he is.
Eyes open. She sees rings on her finger as well as Ren slumped over on the wall. Eddie tells Ren that he's gonna be cold if he stays like that. Ren says nothing and stays motionless. Kanzaki tells Yui that he will do it all over again and continue to try to grant Yui a new life. Yui just tells him to stop. Yui says she's right beside him. Always. In a way, Yui's wish is granted.
But Knight in the last fight for Odin, but I digress. I still call it Ryuki. Yeah, because it's like you could have like final fights be about different characters and have it be like that. I think that's what makes it good though, because the characters that impact the story the most tend to be the ones that are titular, you know? Do you think Asakura's death is a good ending for him? Yeah, because he is he's punished for his hubris in thinking that he could stand up to a firing squad of guns, because he lived his life like headstrong and following his own path and everything like that, and this is where the path ended up for him. For Kitaoka, I think it's just unfortunate. Like I don't know how else to describe. Kitaoka is someone that I do feel bad for, because it's just the disease caught him, you know. And I would have liked to see like an actual proper fight with him and Oja, but sometimes that's the and again, it's depressing and morbid, but sometimes that's just how it is, you know. Sometimes the heroes lose. Sometimes they do get defeated like that. And even though, you know, Ren Knight wins, in the end, a lot of other people lost. You know, we knew from the beginning there was only going to be one winner. So Oja's death is way more brutal compared to the movie where he dissolves in the mirror world. Oh yeah, and then in this one he just gets gunned down in the real world. So Kitako's too late to do it. Yeah.
As both the young and adult Kanzaki siblings draw pictures of people being happy. At Oda Journal, the team is hectic as they try to gather information on their next scoop. Then Shinji arrives, late as always. We then see a handsome lawyer win another case. Shinji accidentally bumps into a university kid. They apologize and go on with their day.
Yeah, I wonder who those were.
The fortune teller says that his predictions are always accurate, so some crazy guy kicks down our journalist friend's bike. Our friend bumps into a dude wearing all black exiting a cafe.
And there's Ren.
Sure scene and Shinji goes in. We then see a picture of Yui smiling happily with her brother. Everything is reset. The writers, the mirror world, and the monsters have ceased to exist. 17 years later.
Ooh, 17 years later? What are you... Okay, so, before we get into that, because now we're in stuff that I don't know. Hey, take care, Ray. I don't like this ending. I just don't like this ending. Oh, ZO, I assume? Ooh. Wait. Is this would this be a spoiler for ZO? Is this technically a spoiler for ZO? Not really, nah. Not really, no. I haven't seen ZO, so. I think it was a Ryuki focus, just 3-episode tribute. So the reason I ask that, though, is I've been trying to avoid stuff that ends up being spoilers for seasons that I haven't seen. But first, let me talk about A New Life. I don't like A New Life. I was literally just praising Ryuki for having the balls to kill the main character, to give Kitaoka what felt like a meaningless death, to gun down Asakura, and then have Ren be the winner. And then Ren's wish is, I'm just gonna fix everything. Everyone's back to life. No one has diseases. Everyone's awake and everything like that. And it just, the way that it removes the consequences of everything is, I think it's a cop-out. I think it's a huge cop-out. I think it's frustrating. That's not Ren's wish, though. Yeah, I don't even remember, the specificity of it, you know? Maybe we wanted to do everything all over again. Maybe. Shiro realized the futility of his attempts and decided to fix things. Is that what it was? I just didn't like it. It felt like a cop-out of an ending, that everything got undone. That they were just like, haha, just kidding. Everyone's alive again. Everyone's happy. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It just felt like a cop-out. Didn't want kids to finish the show on a bleak note. I mean, that's totally fine. And I understand that. Yeah, because it is a depressing note. You know? Something really sad. Kitaoka's death. Excess physical activity can actually cause cancer to spread faster. So by fighting in the Rider War, he may have shortened his life. Ooh, even more. But yeah, no, I was just frustrated because it felt like they undid everything that they, I don't know, they told some really good stories. They told some really good things that I think they were worth leaving in. I have too many thoughts about this ending. I'll have to yap about it. Yeah, another time. You're fine. I think the point was to show that the war in the end was always pointless. I mean, it is, but I think a pointless war having consequences is also a real thing. You know? Because in the end, Kanzaki ended up, changing everything, and undoing what had been done and everything like that. But it's like, it's just frustrating. I wish they didn't undo everything. If they wrote the ending for the sake of the child audience, I think that's probably what it was. Probably. I also got the impression that, yeah, it was Kanzaki deciding to become the law of the cycle and treat the Rider Roar as if never happening. I always assumed it was Ren's wish to undo everything, but I haven't seen Ryuki in forever, and I don't know the extended repertoire of media for Ryuki, so I only can talk about what I've seen with the show and with the final episode director's cut alternative, whatever you want to call it. The show how to pick a real pick your own ending. I'm gonna be real. I don't think I liked any of these endings. I don't think I liked any of these endings. For real. You know? The ending is fitting, but could be better, yeah. All right, let's... All right, let's see how this goes.
The monsters have ceased to exist.
Okay.
17 years later, Shinji is woken up by Tezuka and a couple of strangers. They're being hunted by Jun and Tojo, so they all transform.
Henshin! Henshin!
Whoa! Oh, these dickheads!
This is a new game created by a woman in white. Among this group are new and old faces. Shinji, Tezuka, Jun, Tojo, Ren, Goro, and Asakura.
Okay. Is this one just worth watching? Because like I've just never seen this, and I will be watching Zio at some point. Or do you think we just skip over this for now? We just go to a different point. If you like Ryuki, I do like Ryuki. Maybe we just skip this part of the video. Okay.
Kamen Rider Ryuki.
Fun fact about Kamen Rider Ryuki.
Oh.
There are people who like it. Just like me.
I was gonna say I like Kamen Rider Ryuki. I might shit on the ending, but like I think even if an ending isn't necessarily the best, I think there's still good things to find throughout it. You know?
I remember being in your position. Like seriously, let me get real with you guys.
Okay, hit me.
You aren't familiar with many Toku. God knows you haven't watched many, really.
Okay, I've watched a couple. You know, I've seen Ichigo, V3X, Black RX, Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Faiz, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, and I'm almost finished Den-O. So I'm on my 13th Kamen Rider season. Thank you very much.
It's easy to feel ashamed of not having your own opinions just yet.
Well, there are some opinions I'm just ashamed of because everyone freaks out when I say them.
It's easy to be afraid of what people think of you if your opinions don't reflect general consensus. What if...
Yeah, like where I say I don't like Faiz, and I don't like Rider Man, and I don't like Jetman.
they represent some sort of stereotype that you wouldn't have known of yet, you know? Well, what if you aren't taken seriously because your knowledge is just that limited?
True.
Because of it, it's...
How many
easy to
seasons
take
are there?
opinions like
A lot of seasons.
Marcos is like gospel, or anyone that you meet. Every year,
True.
you could see tons of fans who skip series they think look amazing because they're afraid of disappointment. And for me, I used to be exactly in their shoes.
See, even if I think a show is going to be bad or like maybe not amazing, I'm too committed at this point. I'm too stubborn that I'm watching everything except for Showa. Showa, I just don't want to go back to right now because I like where I am in the Heisei era and I'm enjoying it and it doesn't feel like a chore. But Showa, I had my fun with it. I liked Ichigo. I liked V3. X, I don't remember anything about, which is not a good thing. And then Black and Black RX, I loved. And now I'm like, I'm good. I got my fix. Let me get into the Heisei era, please. Also, finding them was very hard. Finding Showa era Kamen Rider to watch legally, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
In my case, that series was Kamen Rider Ryuki. Wondering why I'm mentioning it in this video.
Wow, I wonder.
The idea of a Kamen Rider Battle Royale was something I thought was so cool, and it's stuck in my mind for a long time.
It is a cool
Especially
idea.
After I finished watching the 2000 movie Battle Royale for the first time.
That's a good movie.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, great movie.
Please check it out. Looking back
Yeah, please.
on how
Yeah,
I
go check it out.
saw Ryuki at the time, its style, its tone, and how I just like sat in my head and just sort of gave me this weird barren wasteland battlefield kind of aesthetic in my brain.
What?
Of these people fighting to the death in order to survive and beyond justice and beyond heroicness, just to see their goals to the end. It was just something that like brewed in my mind, and I remember even at the time being super infatuated with it.
Oh,
the only
okay.
thing is, at the time, all anyone ever told me was to skip it. I remember making jokes about
What? Wait, I remember going through it and people were like, you might not like the ending, but like it's a cool season. I don't think I had anybody telling me to skip it. But then again, like I was like, I'm a new Toku fan. I started watching Super Sentai when the Zyuranger Shout Factory DVDs came out. I watched Ryuki when the Blu-rays from Shout Factory came out. You know?
How Ryuki was boring and slow and plotless, but I'd never actually seen it. I just heard others say that, and because of
Wait,
it, I said it
plotless?
in order to fit in
Huh?
a certain way. Eventually, I grew more and thought back on
What?
Ryuki. I was still really into its concept and its style, and
As you
its
should be.
tone, to the point where
Like what
it
you like.
legitimately bummed me out knowing that it supposedly was not that good. Eventually, life went by and Kamen Rider went by, and I had watched more and more. And you know, after watching a show for that long, your opinions start to change a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you know more about a show, they become a lot more straightforward and a lot less specific on how others think. I had met people at that point who loved Agito, absolutely adored Kiva, and people who hold Ghost near and dear to their heart, with legitimate
Well, I don't. Agito is the only one of those that I've seen, and I think Agito is like a solid 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not amazing. I enjoyed watching it. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I'd probably watch the revival movie.
reasons as to why. People who could tell me every little aspect of the show and tell me why they believe it to be a masterpiece. Because of it, I kept wanting to go back to Kiev.
Hey, thank you so much,
thinking,
Izutsumi.
you know, maybe even I could just see how
Appreciate
bad it was. Maybe I could try it out. I kept having that interest pop up in my head, and that idea of that barren wasteland in an alternate world just stuck with me. So one day I caved. I binged Ryuki in like a week, and every single point people had told me about it in the past was never felt once.
Yeah,
when I watched through.
Sometimes it just happens like that, because like I remember watching Hibiki for the first time. And so many people in the Kamen Rider community, the tokusatsu community, were actively telling me this is one I can talk about. Everyone told me, and then the same thing with Fies. Everyone was telling me Fies is amazing. Like you're gonna love Fies. It's so good. Great. This, that, and the third. And there are pieces of Fies that I think are fantastic. I think the music's great. I think the suits look dope. I like Fies as our main character. But I'm not going to get into why I don't like it, because we're going to be here too long. Hibiki, on the other hand, everyone told me that I was going to absolutely hate. Now, I didn't love Hibiki. I think the first 30 or so episodes were not terrible, though. I think there was something there. I think there was something fun and enjoyable to watch. And even in the last couple of episodes of Hibiki, minus skipping the entire final battle, but the conversations that Hibiki and oh my god, I can't even fucking remember his name. The kid. Why can't I remember the kid's name? Awesome, thank you. The conversations that they have at the end were great, and it did a really good job of, I think, surmising the series and surmising emotions with it. And even though it's not perfect, I was glad that I watched it. So yeah, it had its charms, absolutely. So I get everything that this person is saying.
I love the characters. I loved how they mixed. I loved the story, how it flowed, and how the different writers' goals contradicted each other, which created
I did hate
amazing
what's his
pairing.
name, though.
Now, not everyone has to agree with me on that, right? And not every moment was super amazingly done.
That dickhead.
But when it was at its best and when it was at its worst, didn't matter, because overall I couldn't stop enjoying myself. There were times where so much was going on, I couldn't hold in my smile. And at the end, when characters started to experience the worst of hardships, I even shed tears for characters I thought at the beginning I would despise.
Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes you hate a character when they're first introduced, and as you get to know them more, you're like, oh fuck, man, I actually really like this character.
I remember finishing Ryuki with a sense of joy, and I felt like I'd repressed that before when I was trying to list myself under the rule of general consensus and being afraid to...
You hate Sakura Yuto? No. If you watch Den-O with us, I have said apparently on multiple occasions, and Ruli has called me out for it, that I actually like Yuto. But I fucking hate Kiria. But because it's not an actor thing, it's the character. Yeah, see, there's Ruli. I've said it multiple times while we've been watching Den-O. We're like 5 episodes away from finishing Den-O. We just finished episode 44 last week. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
to choose the first season that I thought personally looked cool. Now, I'm not trying to say Ryuki is good or Ryuki is the best one, nor am I really going in depth about it.
That's
Truthfully
fine.
speaking,
You don't have to.
I don't even think Ryuki's the best one.
Every week we've watched since he was introduced. You know what, Ruli? Take you out. Suplex City.
I just want you all to realize that at the end of the day, we're all people with different tastes.
Imagine that.
Marcos and I agree on some things and disagree on others.
So it should be Marcos then, huh? So you're Marcos to them, and you're Roy Chiato to me. What the fuck? Huh? What's it gonna be? Huh?
And because we're cool with each other,
Bullshit.
it simply doesn't matter whether we always agree or not. The same should apply to you all watching. Countless times I see similar opinions on shows I know guys like you have not watched.
Yeah.
People in the comments just haven't seen. But it's okay. It's okay to be in your position. I want you to feel like there's no shame in gathering these kinds of opinions and shows you think look cool or others think look horrible or others say look bad or others say look good.
Yeah, there's a couple seasons that I'm especially looking forward to. I'm really excited for Double because I really like the suit. And I like detective themes, and I heard there's some good jazz music in it. I'm really excited for Gaim because I saw the gif of the dude smiling when he activates like his henshin device, and I was like, that's cool. And I heard Gavu has yaoi in it, so I'm excited for that. I like me some yaoi. I don't know anything about any other season. Oh, Forze seems cool too because I like how excitable Forze's like writer is. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to take more out of any one of these shows
Forza the
than
Goat.
anyone else watching.
I'm excited to watch
Whether
it.
it be Kuga or Ghost or Kiva or Build.
Oh, I
Also,
heard Build is good too. That's Rabbit Tank, right? Best match Rabbit Tank. That's all I remember. I haven't seen it. Yeah, okay.
I want you all to know it's okay not to know things.
Whoa. Let's not get too crazy now. It's not okay. Okay? You haven't watched Build. Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. Water Munez. I'm gonna break it down for you. Ready? I'm gonna start with Super Sentai. Ready? Super Sentai, I've seen Jetman, Zhu Ranger, Dai Ranger, Kaku Ranger, O Ranger, Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, Ginga Man, Go-Go 5, Time Ranger, Gal Ranger, Hurricane Ranger, Abba Ranger, and Deca Ranger. So I've seen 14 Super Sentai seasons. Kamen Rider, I've seen Ichigo, V3, X, Black, Black RX, Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Faiz, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, and we're just about to finish Deno. We're like a week away from finishing Deno, and I'm caught up on Zets. I'm going in order. Kinda. So no, I have not seen it yet. I'm going in order. Yeah, we're years away from Build. It usually takes us like 3-ish months to finish a season. So, because we watch like 6-ish episodes a week. But if you want to watch with us, feel free. ! Discord in chat. We get together every Sunday for Tokusatsu Sunday. We are currently watching every new episode of Kamen Rider Zets. We're watching the newest episode of Project Red, which right now is Omega Horn. We finished Project Infinity or Gavan Infinity last week. And this coming week, we're going to be finishing Kamen Rider Deno. So, yeah, excited for that. We are going to be taking a small break after Deno so I can catch up on scripts for videos and record some shit because like Zets finishes in like 5 weeks and I haven't even started taking notes on Zets yet, which is really bad, especially because now that we know Omega Horn is also going to be short, I'm like, oh shit. I'm going to have to crunch in the same way that I've been crunching for Gavan Infinity. Ugh.
A lot of you are newer to the
Anyway.
fandom, and because of that, there's such a small voice on how to go about it. Pick what you think is cool.
Fair Pay is not
own
going to
that
lie.
you
I think
is
so.
Cool, and know that it's
Do
okay
we
to
know?
disagree with others.
I imagine so, right?
So don't get too heated about it.
I agree.
As someone in that position, I wish I had someone to tell me that initially.
Nah, I wish I had someone to tell me to stand by your morals. Fi sucks, and I'm tired of pretending it doesn't. Kaiser is the worst.
I feel like I would have opened up to newer things a lot sooner. Because truth be told, Tokusatsu is an insane genre with many aspects to life. So If
Oh
we
my
somehow
gosh.
had all the plot points and knowledge on what happens, it's not very likely that a lot of people like what others don't. Anyway, sorry this was so long, and
No!
not really my thoughts on Ryuki itself.
I think it was good.
But I thought it was worth mentioning.
I think it was
Thanks,
good.
Marcos, for letting me on, and thank you guys for being the best.
Wow, you let him on twice? I see how it is.
Shoulda coulda put it best. Kamen Rider Ryuki was a real turning point for the franchise, as it was a very different show that tried new.
Oh, just because you said something like, if you watch Toku with us on Discord / I'm getting the nugget in your Discord. Oh, no, yeah, I was saying it because people were like talking about all the different stuff that they were like, well, if you do this, I was leading into the bit, my bad.
And different
I should have
ideas.
specified that.
In terms of ratings at that time, it wasn't very well received.
I heard
older audience.
I heard
But
Ryuki
it
was
a hit
not
with the children,
popular.
which the show was made for. So
Yeah.
success. The biggest point when it came to creating the series dealt with
Taking that whole
challenging
Deeper
the
boss.
idea of good
Tree eat my ass.
versus evil, since Kamen Riders are known to be allies of justice. This idea was inspired by Andra Kikaider that had a similar theme, but now geared more towards Kamen Rider. Going
what
with
up,
this
Cam?
theme was already challenging from the start, since Ryuki was always meant to be different, much to the negative reactions from the fans. To that, Shirakura said, "You can't match the original Kamen Rider, or else it would end up being self-parody." I should have waited 18 years to say that. Challenging
Wait, what's the self-parody season? What's the self-parody season? What are you talking about? Wait, I'm curious. Huh? What is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know. Have you watched any other tokusatsu besides Kamen Rider and Super Sentai? Gavon Infinity! That's it.
The idea of justice could come off as overly preachy, especially in a kid show.
Shin Kamen
but
Rider?
I think Ryuki did it just right.
Maybe.
At times. Like, yeah, I can see the concept when a majority of the writers in the show aren't good people. There are some obvious villains in Asakura being a literal criminal, and there are some people with questionable morals like Tojo who has his own ideas of what being a hero means. Then we have people like Tezuka and Mitsuru who are trying to get by and end up being at the wrong place at the wrong time. The good parts come in when the show doesn't tell you that what Kitaka is doing is wrong. The show doesn't tell you that you probably shouldn't look up to Jun's lust for power.
Yeah, I think that's where it does really well too. I big agree on that. That there's wiggle room for opinions. The show wants you to form your own opinions. Maybe that's why it's hard too. Because like everybody likes their own characters in Ryuki for different reasons. Like you can like a villain, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for a hero, you're definitely not looking at Oja,
Weird part is when the show says, "Oh man, Tojo isn't sure what being a hero means. Sacrifice one to save many? Whoa, but Shinji said he's gonna save everyone. In fact, he says that a lot."
Which is why he ends up dying in the second to last episode, or whenever he dies. I can't remember.
This is not a bad lesson outright. I'd rather just not have it said so many times. I've also heard...
I think that's fair. It is Shinji's character flaw, and that's probably why they want to say it so much. Like they really want to drive it home that this is his character flaw, that he is conceited enough that he thinks that he has enough control over the world that he can save everybody.
That in Ryuki, quote unquote, there are no good guys, there are no heroes, and that comes off as to okay, how should I put this? Quote unquote, you really need a high IQ to understand Ryuki, and it's
what, you're so right.
Seems more preachy than what.
I know this
the show is
Juni's a
actually
bad
trying to
person.
convey.
Yeah.
I guess you can say there are no heroes, but then what about Shinji?
I was about to say
wait, he doesn't count, right? Maybe I've heard it too many times to the point where I'm like, yeah, okay, Grandpa, let's watch some Build or something. I will say there's more good.
One of the most repeated lines in the show is "Shinji, you idiot." Tells a lot about his character. I mean, yeah, that's like the endearing part of his character. If we're talking about a more modern example, Gavon Infinity, I fucking love Reiji. I think Reiji is, because of the simplicity of Reiji's character, for example, I love that. Always constantly trying to take on the burdens of everybody else, and it is his endearing character flaw. It's what gets him into trouble constantly, He may be an idiot, but he's my idiot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sometimes endearing character flaws are supposed to be that. They are character flaws, and you can look at a character trying to grow past them, or because they need something. Yeah, Reiji's fit is great. I just don't like his pants. I don't like the painted on lines. They look like they should just be belts. You know what I mean? He is an idiot. He is way too naive. And while that's heroic, it does have consequences. Yes. Absolutely. I do wish Reiji had more consequences. Reiji does not have enough consequences in Goblin Infinity. Unless there are more that we don't know about happening in Omega Horde, which is why I'm like, ugh. I have to hold my tongue somewhat.
To this concept than bad. Like,
I feel that too, Starboy.
Way more good. I've said numerous times that what I look at is basically surface level. You can dive deep and write entire essays about each writer.
That's fair.
Meanwhile, I'll just say
I
that
saw you.
60 FPS looks cool.
Yeah!
That's not to say I
True.
don't get what's going on and that I don't understand what others have to say. I just rather enjoy the show in my own way. However, even the surface level concepts in Ryuki are very interesting. Notice that I keep saying concepts because ideas are one thing, execution is another.
Yeah.
The story that's made to connect and flow these concepts together is, okay, the first time I looked at Ryuki, I was leaning more towards a negative, mostly because it got boring for me. As always, opinions change over time.
I think that's fair.
So,
yeah, if I rewatch Ryuki now, I might not like it as much as I did before. You know? I do think my current order of like my favorite Super Sentai though, or my favorite Super Sentai, my favorite Kamen Rider seasons is still pretty like I would probably say it's still correct. I have Kuga, Kabuto, Blade. And then Ryuki's at number 4. I don't know what's at number 5. It might end up being Zet's. Zet's might take the number 4 slot. I don't think it's going to beat out Blade, though. Zet's has started to piss me off a little bit towards the end. Did you see the Omega Horde trailer? I did. I'm very excited. Blade's favorite. So, I think Blade stumbled a lot in the later third, especially with the stuff with Mutsuki. But I think Blade's, like, ending... like last couple of episodes were really well executed and it really brought me back. So, yeah.
Do I think now? Yeah, sorry, Ryuki doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, Blade ending is
good. This will be a
good.
very weird thing to say, and I'm definitely going to emphasize it more when we get to Kamen Rider Build. But hear me out.
I'm listening. Listen, I don't think Ryuki is a hill that you need to die on, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna be so real. I'll defend you on not liking Ryuki. That's okay. I get it. I think it's pretty surface level that like you can look at Ryuki and go, that wasn't my cup of tea. I got your back. Don't worry. I'll flex for you.
Acknowledge that Kamen Rider Ryuki is a good show.
Blade ending's too good too. Breaks my heart. Yeah. Doomed Yowie on the bench, you know?
I'd even go so far as saying it's a fantastic show. However, it's not for me. I hope that came across throughout the video.
Hi, Stereo.
Hi, what's up, Like, I'd even say that what I did go over was about like 1/3 of the show.
Oh, you're posting my tits. I see.
Although what I really do want to talk about are the alternate endings. Ryuki was pitched as a side story that was able to branch out to other endings. How much of these endings are true or 100% canon is either up in the air or completely up to you. Except for A New Life, episode 50 of the show. A New Life is the ending that continuations follow, like Rider Time Ryuki, but I still think anything can be as canon as you want it to be.
Yeah, you could always make the argument that something else is canon. You could always make the argument that like, well, you know, we didn't see how this played out, so this could have been real too. Yeah.
A bit of a cop-out, I know.
Nah, I'm fine with that.
Introducing the multiverse changed my thoughts on a lot of things.
Ryuki is also a show that I'm like, out of all the seasons to have like multiversal endings, okay.
4 endings. 5 if you want to count Rider Time as its own thing, shown between the season with movies and specials. Then there are 2 more endings that you could read through the SIC Hero Saga. First up, episode final. Ryuki's summer movie. Most would tell you that it starts after episode 46, but I'll tell you to watch at least a little bit of episode 47 to get a bit more of an understanding behind Yui, and we can assume that every event from the show that has happened up to that point is where the movie starts.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
The season only showed 10 of the 13 riders. Where the other 3 were, I can only guess they died off screen, never got their decks, or just simply never existed.
I was going to say, there was the one that was the piano player that did die as well. So... technically, he was a writer, but he just never henshin. One of them was Femme. And then... I guess there's another one somewhere, you know?
Episode final showed 2 of these writers. Fam and Ryuga. Aside
Oh,
from
and Ryuga. There you go.
that, episode final also gives a bit more insight on Yui's past. A big difference is that in episode final, Yui entered the mirror world on her own and made a deal to come back, whereas in A New Life, Yui died of an illness and her brother was the one that took Mirror Yui's deal. Analyzing episode final makes Kanzaki's motive a bit hazy.
Oh, and Verd. Oh, I guess it depends.
Yes, he still wants Yui to come back, but how he connects to the mirror world is not exactly explainable. There are also some strange decisions, such as having Asakura die by a brand new rider, Kitaoka being able to forfeit the battle completely.
Oh yeah, and then he just fucks off. He's just gone.
And Odin just not appearing whatsoever in the movie. Episode final, as well as 1/3 of the show, was written by Toshiki Inui, if his usual tropes weren't a dead giveaway. Even with all of that,
I did not know this was written by Inoue. And I didn't like it. Whoops!
I actually really liked the movie. The visuals especially hold up pretty well today. I love the extra time we got to spend with the characters, and the ending was beautiful.
I don't think the movie itself was bad. I hated the ending, though.
So let's talk about that.
Sure, hit me.
Episode final's ending is left ambiguous as Ren and Shinji are the only riders left alive to fight mirror monsters. And that's it. We don't know what happens after, but I think that's okay. I personally don't mind if endings are left open to the individual. I would absolutely rather have a definitive ending, but again, this open ending isn't all that bad. To be perfectly honest, this is my favorite of the Ryuki endings. aside from
Really?
Rider Time.
I think a lot of people have said that before, too. I kind of understand why.
Not only does episode final make the most sense to me, but I prefer the bittersweet feeling of Ren outright saying that Shinji is his only friend, as they ride off to their possible last moments. If they do live, then it would make sense for Shinji to return in later crossovers, but that also gets weird to explain and I won't get to it here. Overall, I think episode final is a good ending, but I can see why others may dislike the way it ended ambiguously. I'd say watch it if you're interested in how
Yeah, it just wasn't.
Next,
In the same way that, like, the show wasn't for Marcos, this wasn't for me either. So, this too is Decade's fault. I think we're supposed to assume that Kitaoka passed due to his illness sometime shortly after he just abandons his desk. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened after he left the deck behind. It would make sense. So,
the 13 Rider special. This one is a bit different as it's a retelling of Ryuki's story from beginning to end in a 1-hour special. Over the course of a couple of days, Shinji gets his deck from the previous Ryuki user, meets other riders, and gets faced with 2 decisions. All in all, the 13 Riders story isn't that good to me, as it feels very rushed and completely unnecessary. We don't really learn anything new about anyone. Well, there is one bit where Tezuka and Yui may have dated before the battle, but This special does show us the most amount of Ryuki riders in one scene. We rarely see more than 4 riders on screen at the same time in the show, and while the special doesn't have every rider in the final battle, it does have a good majority and is great to see. But 13 Riders is different in that it has 2 different endings that viewers voted on to be aired. During the final battle, Ren dies in Shinji's arms, so Ren gives him the Kamen Rider Knight deck. At this point, viewers could decide whether Shinji continues fighting as Knight or destroy the core mirror, which will destroy the mirror world itself. The core mirror is a thing only in the special, and it sounds dumb, so I'm glad it wasn't added to anything else.
Yeah, like... Also, why does destroying the core mirror not actually erase the mirror world? You know what I mean?
Including block of glass resets everything. The decision to keep fighting won out by about 100,000 votes, so I guess people are sadistic and love to see Shinji suffer.
Yeah.
In this ending, well, Shinji literally just keeps fighting. The remaining riders use their final vents, and the last thing we see is Shinji prepare himself. I like the idea, but it ends so fast without any real conclusion. At least episode final looked cool. In the other ending, Shinji is able to shatter the core mirror, so the riders disappear, including himself. We see him walk down the street until Shinji notices riders in the windows. He looks down and notices that he's still holding the Ryuki deck. Shinji yells, and it ends.
Which is... that one feels like a kind of a horror ending, where it's like, why are we repeating this? What happened? You know?
Cliffhanger. This one isn't that much better, but at least there's something to talk about. People assume that Shinji shattering the core mirror caused some kind of time loop, and that's also the explanation I agree with.
Yeah,
Although
probably.
That's what I've heard for every ending.
Yeah.
Shinji being in a time loop for each ending we have, this time it would be breaking the core mirror, but other times would either be by a wish or by Odin using a time vent card. It's an interesting theory and one I really like. Back to 13 Riders, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really interested in seeing more Kamen Rider Ryuki.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I probably still won't watch it to this point. I'm okay without it.
Or Kamen Rider Verdi in action. There's just not...
What did Zets do to piss you off? Oh, God. I don't want to spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil it. I gotta save my opinions for Marcos, okay? I promised him that I would talk to him about Zets.
Much substance to see in the special to me, and the only real note is knowing that voting for a different ending was as early as Ryuki, which we won't see again until we get to Showa versus Heisei. In
I could
Kamen
probably
Rider
give some
The other
non-spoilery
2 endings we get are
answers
from
though.
reading SIC Hero Saga. Yeah, reading. Good thing I can just tell you instead of making you read.
Yeah,
Advent
thanks.
Calendar introduces Shinji's twin brother as Kamen Rider Ryuga. Shinji ends up as the winner of the Rider War and wishes to revive all the people who died.
Yeah.
It sounds like something out of a fan fiction, which is why I don't really recommend it.
I imagine that.
Again, unless you really want more Ryuki. I had a comment saying that the reason there was a mirror version of Shinji in episode final and no one else is because Mirror Shinji was the spirit of Shinji's dead twin brother. That also sounds like fan fiction that I'm not particularly a fan of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was just, there was the mirror version of him because there was a mirror version of Yui, and that they were supposed to meet up with each other. And that's like where it came from. I thought that's what it was.
Mostly because each separate timeline doesn't really cross over for the most part. They each stay in their own canonicity, so Shinji having a brother would have definitely been brought up somewhere. if it was
Yeah,
considered
at
canon
some
to the show.
point.
But hey, this is here in case you want it. The other SIC
you want
story is
it.
called World of If. In this story, Shinji himself gains the Ryuga deck and goes on a rampage. Eventually, Ren as Odin saves the day with the help of Yui as pseudo-rider Alternative Zero. Odin kills Alternative Zero without knowing that it was Yui, and since Ren was just a puppet, Odin was the winner of the battle. Of course, meaning that Kanzaki ultimately won, but since he accidentally killed Yui, he doesn't wish for anything and instead just mourns her death. It's a bit better than Advent Calendar, but
I guess.
not by much.
It just sounds like bleak depression at the same time.
It sounds just as fanfiction-y.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting to know that there's an ending where Kanzaki actually wins, I just wish there was more to it. I can more so recommend reading World of If since it's short and at least somewhat interesting, while Advent Calendar is boring to me. Both of them do introduce survive forms for Oja and Ryuga, so that's cool, I guess. Now for what you've all been waiting for. Ryuki's definitive ending. Episode 50 from the show, A New Life.
Yeah.
Everyone dies and time gets reset to when no one knows each other and everything Mirror World related is gone, including the writers. It's not directly stated how time got reset, but there are a few theories.
I always assumed that it was that Ren won and wished for it.
In case you couldn't tell by now, Ryuki is very theory-centric, which makes it more fun. One theory says that after Kanzaki realizes that everything was pointless, he used Time Vent to reset everything. I personally don't think that's right, because if Kanzaki actually is able to change time whenever he wanted, he would have used it more than once in the show.
Wasn't he already gone by that point too? I don't know. What's a wild thing?
He could say that he wants to see everything play out no matter what timeline he's in, but that also sounds just as pointless, and Kanzaki could have ended up in the other alternate endings. Another theory is that Ren is the one who wished to reset everything,
That's what
which
I
I
think.
believe to be the most logical.
Yeah.
Some might debunk that by saying that Eri only woke up because that's what Ren wished for, but spoiler here, Eddie's woken up during the show before, so Ren could have gone to the hospital, noticed she's still alive, and wished for the reset. Which is why that would happen shortly after Eddie wakes up in the first place.
Yeah.
And we see the wish manifest itself next to Ren when he defeats Odin, so it couldn't have been Kanzaki. Although, as always, no official confirmation.
Yeah, and that's always how I felt it. It couldn't have been Kanzaki because Odin loses.
Now, I'll be the first to tell you that the ending is as important as the journey, but I also think that they should be judged separately. When it comes to the infamous reset ending, I honestly don't mind. At least until we get to a certain season.
Oh.
If the journey was fantastic,
What certain
then
season?
why would you say it was a waste of time if the ending didn't satisfy you? And the same thing could be said the other way around too.
I think that is an interesting point of view, and I agree with it to some capacity. I think for me, the resetting it to live in the world where none of it happened, and not that it's going to be redone, but just that none of it happened, I think just felt like kind of a cop-out. Because it happened in the last couple of moments of the episode after such crucial, critical moments happened. If it happened earlier, or if it wasn't to the capacity that it happened, or if it happened in a different way and the writer war just restarted, then maybe like I could have been okay with it. I just dislike that it just feels like no consequences. You know, everybody gets their happy ending for no consequence. So
If the ending was mind-blowing while
my guess is ZO, at least Decade, is sensible enough to not mess with the canon of the seasons it crossed over with. Oh, I see.
the journey was mediocre, I'd still accept both for how they were and vice versa. Although, I do believe the journey has to have at least some substance to make the ending matter more.
I agree.
Kamen Rider Blade, I'm looking right at you. Multiple
Wait, but I liked Blade's, like, everything. I think well, not everything. Because, like, I'm going to be real, the last third until, like, the last couple of episodes for the ending were pretty rough. Basically, just remove Mutsuki, and we've got a pretty cool show. Listen, I'm just saying. We got a pretty cool show. We got some yaoi. We got some dope suits. You know what I'm saying?
endings is a big part of Ryuki, and I love the concept, but to me, none of them add much, and when they do, it ends up being superfluous. For example,
probably agree with that.
Does it really matter if Shinji and Yui ended up being childhood friends? Yui doesn't seem to care, and it's not as big a revelation as the movie makes it out to be.
No, it doesn't matter.
About Shinji having a twin brother, but it's never talked about in the show, so unless you read the story, would anyone really care?
No one cares.
Yes, it's okay to have something that the canon timeline doesn't have, but they should have some value, whether it's canon or not. Like, what if the revelation of Shinji and Yui being childhood friends also affected Kanzaki in some way?
Yeah!
Kanzaki could have some sort of vendetta against Shinji and maybe have a fight scene between the two.
Which is what I thought was gonna happen.
Or what if Mitsudo was Shinji's ally from the beginning? What if Ren turned out to be in cahoots with Kanzaki? What if Kagawa is actually able to seal the mirror world? See, there are many ways you can go with Ryuki's stories and characters, but we get some of the most vanilla and fanfiction-y stories to be told officially from Toei.
I agree.
The only alternate ending I can really recommend to anyone is episode final, but I recommend that more as a movie rather than as an alternate telling of what could have been. And I
think I probably agree with that, because like I don't like episode finals ending, but it is, if you want a different ending that's not just we reset the world and everyone's happy, I think that is a fair point.
I know they want to be safe, they want to tell a satisfying ending for everyone, but still, even in one of the novels, you could have told something different.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound mad there. I guess it just came out.
No, be mad.
Of Ryuki is that it's
be mad.
A Kamen Rider Battle Royale, and if anyone brings up Fortnite, Madoka Magica, or Gaim, then I'm gonna explode.
Oh.
Anyway, Battle Royale. You may be hoping to see a lot of conflicts and head bashing between 13 riders. Well, at the very most, you get a couple of scenes where there are 5 riders on screen at the same time in the show.
Not a ton,
but
yeah.
They don't fight each other. It's usually a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1. Even when getting close to the end game, not very many riders actually fight each other. The only time we see more than 5 riders at once is during the 13 rider special, but it doesn't last that long. So if you're hoping to see a real all-out rider war,
He's the closest.
well, best wait until we get to Kamen Rider Decade. Okay, what if we don't see multiple riders fighting at the same time?
Don't take your word for it.
The riders themselves are cool, right? Shinji is your average everyman, more so than Yusuke and Shoichi before him. Shinji doesn't have much skills of his own, and he just so happened to become a rider. He's someone everyone can relate to. Shinji is so realistic because he wants to stop the fighting and will do anything necessary, but would just anyone really do the same?
I think that's what I was saying before. The naivete is nice to see punished because like a lot of people will have that mentality and then it makes you think about yourself in that way. And it's like, if I was in this situation, would I have done this? If I was in this situation, was I strong enough? Would I be strong enough to do this? Would I have made the same decisions? And you want to say yes because like Shinji is perceived as the hero, but ends up losing.
I believe people are naturally good, but it would be rare to see someone as pure and as selfless as Shinji. Well, aside from Yusuke and Shoichi, but that's why they're the main writers of their own season.
Yeah.
I really didn't like Shinji at first. Oh no, another pure but down-to-earth character? I had enough of that from Shoichi alone, but Yusuke has the same trope.
Yeah.
Shinji just wants to stop the Rider War, but then he begins to change.
I liked it with Godai Yusuke because you do see him start to crack a lot as the series goes on. Like he starts really cracking, you know?
He realizes that his will to stop the Rider War is an unrealistic goal, but he still tries anyway. Then he really sees that people like Asakura can't change. When Shinji decides
that
all he
one,
can do is
Bakatare.
fight, that's when he decides to really fight. Shinji's only goal left is the only choice a guy like him has, to at least attempt to seal the mirror world without the need to sacrifice anymore. Shinji can't be the naive kid anymore. He had to grow up. That's a good character arc. It blew my mind that Shinji, our main character, was actually allowed to die. It must have taken a lot for Toei to okay that decision. Except, not really.
Yeah.
Shirokuro was just as surprised that they were like, yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah, I scratched my head at that when I was researching it too, but I guess Shirikuro's a lot cooler than I thought. Anyway.
Again, I think it would have been cool if they had more consequences, but I get it.
I do like Shinji. Not anywhere near enough for a top 10 favorites, though. Or top 15. Or top 18. Or Ren.
Whoa! That's crazy.
Kamen Rider Knight. I liked him in the beginning. He seems so interesting.
Yeah, Ren's
cool
fun.
Enough. Maybe you've heard how Ren is the quote-unquote true protagonist, and yeah.
Literally, chat just said this. Wait, that's crazy. Yusuke cracks, but the fact that he doesn't break is what makes him so awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Because like we even see it towards the end of the series with Kuga, you know?
See that? There was more focus on
Survive forums. Do you know Oja officially got one in the out? Yes, Marcos mentioned it in the video.
Character arcs than Shinji. I tend to have this immediate dislike for secondary writers that are serious and edgy. Though Ren was the first one, so he gets a small pass. Although him wanting to fight Shinji out of nowhere several times is a bit off-putting to me. Everything else about him is great. His motives, his suit, his chemistry with Shinji. It's all very enjoyable.
I'm with you.
Kitaoka, Kamen Rider Zolda. He's an egotistical, womanizing lawyer that doesn't want anything to do with the lower class. It would be very difficult to do an awful job at writing a fun character like him.
Yeah.
Kitaoka stays the same from beginning to end, except he does it for a reason. Kitaoka's wish is to live longer because he's terminally ill.
Yep.
It's never said straight out what he has, but you can tell it's painful for him as he loses strength to even hold a phone. Not too many people know that Kitaoka has this illness,
gives the heart of the
so
cards,
it's even more
true.
tragic that he can't do much about it besides hope to win the Rider War. He's an egotistical character with an underlying tragedy that he can't share with anyone.
Because it would ruin the facade of the character that he's built up around himself. That's why Kitaoka is such a fun character. And like, sure, he ends up, losing in the end, but it is very much a fun thing to see him try and make it. And then also have friendships and team ups,
It's even more sad that even though he fights to get rid of his illness, it's the same illness that kills him by the end.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that a lot of these deaths are ironic. I already love Kitaoka by
mentioned that. We mentioned that already. I think that's like the beautiful thing about Ryuki is that a lot of characters end up losing to their folly. Kitaoka ends up loses to the folly that he thinks he can cure his illness. Shinji loses to the fact that he thinks that he can save everybody. Oja loses, or Asakura loses, to the fact that he thinks he's invincible. That he thinks he can keep getting away with everything. Everybody loses to their folly.
Personality alone, but knowing what he has to go through just to survive makes him my favorite writer in the show. As for Kitaoka's butler, Goro,
Goro's great.
yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
We don't really know too
He's
much
cool.
about him, and the reason he stays with Kitaoka is more of a throwaway line, but he's still a pretty cool character with a fun yet serious personality.
I like them.
I think Goro should either run a company or open up a fruit stand someday, but hopefully he doesn't become a murderer.
Is that supposed to be about Kabuto in a different season? A fruit stand? I don't know what the fruit stand is. Run a company is definitely Kabuto, though. Hold on a second.
My second favorite writer, Asakura, doesn't seem to have much to him. He's a crazy guy that does
He's in
whatever he
Gaim?
wants.
Wait, that's
That
cool.
may sound bland and generic,
I like
but
that.
how he's presented is absolutely insane.
Gaim
He's
makes
been
sense.
wrapped up Hannibal Lecter style and is still able to knock out a few police guards, so Asakura is just a fun, crazy guy. Honestly, I can't justify talking about Asakura. Honestly, I can't justify enough talking about him. I really don't like
Yeah.
saying this, but he's someone you need to see rather than me telling you. He's insane, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, and it's fun like that because sometimes, like, it's in the same way that, like, sometimes you like watching the Joker in Batman because, like, sometimes there's no reason to it. But in this case, I think it's more controlled than that. But it's fun because, like, sometimes you just don't know what he's going to be doing next. You know?
Those are the four main writers that you spend the most time with, so
Yeah.
these other characters are gonna go by a lot faster. The exclusive writers, Verde, Fam, and Ryuga, well, they came and went in other media.
They
Masashi
did indeed.
Sudo, Kamen Rider Scissors, is pretty
Di-
much the tutorial fight.
First
there just
episode
to
dead.
show you the rules of the mirror world and this battle royale.
He's the party member that you get that's, like, slightly overpowered, over leveled. And then the first major boss fight you get into, that party member dies.
Fight other writers, feed your monster, or else you die. His personality is the one-note, power-hungry type, so there's
Yeah.
really not much else I can say
Yeah.
about him. Miyuki Tezuka, Kamen Rider Raya. The only other person I wanted to
And
stop
Gaimi's
the
essentially
fighting.
Ernie.
He
Oh,
was Ren's and
that's
Shinji's
cute.
ally for a bit until he realized that he wasn't needed. I liked him because he was a lot more like Shinji, except Tezuka's already grown up. He doesn't need to change, which is why he was able to selflessly sacrifice himself for the greater good. It's just a shame that he died so early. Jinshi
It would have been nice to see if he survived until, like, maybe, like, Tiger showed up. Like, if Tiger killed him, that could have been a crazy revelation.
Bada, Kamen Rider Guy, is sort of like a mini Asakura in that he's a bit crazy and tries to have fun, but he's a kid, so of course he's gonna act like one. He wants things to go his way, but then Asakura, the other crazy guy, gets in the
Wait, I thought he was, like, 21. Kid. I thought he was, like...
way and
Whatever.
kills him. Although this is yet another one of those writers that just came and went. Satoru
You got
Toji,
me, Nugget.
Kamen Rider Tiger. He's edgy, but I like his motive that he wants to be seen as a hero. In that aspect, he's a little crazy, but also sad.
Loses to his folly again.
He kills his only friends because he thinks that'll make him stronger, and it's too late before he realizes that he's wrong. The rest of the university lab crew are kind of one note with
I hate him so much, Tiger. Yeah.
that hero aspect. The
Yeah.
original alternative didn't do much, which is why I didn't even need to name him. Kagawa is more level-headed and fair when it came to being Tojo's mentor. I liked him. It's unfortunate that he and the alternatives didn't add much and died just as fast as they were introduced. Mitsuru Sano, Kamen Rider Emperor, is one of my favorites. He was only in literally 2 episodes, but I still think he was fleshed out enough to be considered a good character.
I think so. Like, I've said it before, like, I dislike the character in a good way. Like, I like to dislike him.
Which is weird because normally I strongly dislike stories like this. He was a neglected kid with nothing ever going right for him, so his only wish was to be happy. Simple, yet effective. He would have been better if he lasted longer and if we were shown a bit more about his life before being a Kamen Rider. It still bothers me that Kitaoka is able to forfeit freely, but Mitsuru gets the bad luck and is still forced to fight anyway.
Wait, Kitaoka gives up in the movie, though. Not in the series. So,
And maybe that's because Kitaoka is one of Kanzaki's favorites? I don't know.
that could be.
Speaking of Kanzaki, he never transformed into Kamen Rider Odin on screen until Rider Time. But that was his stand-in for the battle, so let's just say Kanzaki is Odin.
Sure.
Kanzaki is one of my favorite villains in Kamen Rider. He's always so calm and he rarely shows his crazy side. It seems like Kanzaki is always one step ahead of the writers as he pushes them to do something. He's the one who tells Asakura to kill Tezuka, and he pushes Ren to keep fighting for Eri. However, Kanzaki does make a few mistakes, such as handing Shinji a survive card for seemingly no apparent reason.
Just to compel him to fight. He's worried that he's not going to keep fighting.
Kanzaki does everything for
We
his
talked
sister,
about that.
so he may have his heart in the right place. Maybe. I've talked about a made-up rule about the journey versus ending, but I feel like I can make a similar rule to story and characters. The story can be bland, but the characters alone can make a show worth the watch.
Maybe that is why I was saying Ryuki does have story, but it's really just the characters and the growth.
And that's something I can add to Ryuki. The plot and day-to-day stories aren't that entertaining, but seeing these characters in those situations makes the show worth the watch.
Cough, cough, Deca Ranger. Wait, you're right on that one, though. And I did actually end up really liking that about Deca Ranger. Deca Ranger's in my top 3 now. You know, after finishing Deca Ranger and 80% of the season, 85% of the season being filler, some of that filler was amazing. Some of the best episodes I've ever seen in Tokusatsu were filler episodes from Deca Ranger. It was crazy. That season was so good. It handled world building and character development in filler episodes so well.
We don't get very many scenes of multiple characters just sitting down and talking. It's usually a one-on-one talk, but seeing a group talk is a highlight. But seeing a group conversation is a highlight. Very late in the show, we have Chiato highlight. But seeing a group, it's usually a one-on-one talk.
Did you repeat yourself?
A group talk is a highlight. But seeing a group conversation is a highlight.
Okay, I think it's just repeat. I was like, did I press something?
Chiato, Ren, Shinji, and Asakura just sit down and talk. No fighting, just talking, and I loved it. I do wish there was more.
Should we get the Dawn
but
Brothers?
Characters alone carry the show.
I'm on I just finished Deca Ranger. We're about to finish Den-O. We're gonna be starting Maji Ranger probably within the next month or so.
Had dozens of comments and requests asking me to cover one specific thing, and I'm only going to do a very quick compare and contrast. As most of you know, Ryuki got adapted into Kamen Rider Dragonite for the Western audience. I'm not going to say too much about it right now because that's what a history of Kamen Rider Dragonite is for.
Yeah!
Ryuki and Dragonite are two completely different things. They basically only share suits and minor plot points. Other than that, I think it's extremely sententious to say that one is outright better than the other. One might do certain things better, but you should give each one a chance.
Yeah, I still want to watch it.
What I think Ryuki does quote-unquote better is having more memorable characters, for the most part. I remember each writer in Ryuki and their backstories. I can sympathize with them, and I want to know what they're going to do in the next episode. That's not to say Dragonite is completely devoid of this. I just think Ryuki does it slightly better.
That's understandable.
But to balance that out,
it's not Fortnite. You know, there's a thing called Battle Royale, right?
I think Ryuki fails is at the storytelling. The pacing is so weird. It's slow in the beginning, then it speeds up, then it just drops in the end game.
Yeah,
out of the 10 writers
I agree with that.
The show, 4 of them die in episode 50. Gee, I wish there were some episodes where you could stretch that out instead of doing it last
That's so
minute.
true.
That's really all I'm going to say about Ryuki versus Dragonite for now. And I hope you all enjoyed this remake of my original video.
I think it was really good.
It's time for my final thoughts.
Yes. Hit me. Wait, is it? Oh my god, these are going to be fast final thoughts.
Ryuki's characters. The suits are awesome to see in action.
Agreed.
I couldn't wait to see what Kanzaki had up his sleeve just to get his wish. But I really don't like Ryuki's bland story. A lot of characters felt like cannon fodder. As you can see, I'm a bit conflicted, but my weirdest thing is that I actually like everything around Ryuki.
I think that's fair.
Rather than Ryuki the show. And I don't mean the side media. I mean the talk and theory surrounding Ryuki is what grabbed my interest. And researching his background was a lot of fun.
I feel
Overall,
that.
I recommend Ryuki to those who've already seen a couple of seasons of Kamen Rider. I wouldn't say to watch it as your first season, but it is worth watching regardless.
Luckily, that is how it worked for me. I think it was my 7th Kamen Rider season. So I did watch it after seeing several others.
There's going to be at least one thing here for everyone to enjoy. Kamen Rider Ryuki is a good show. Definitely not for me, but a good show. With all that being said, join me next time when we dive into the mirror to fight the fight with Kamen Rider Dragonite.
Well done. Clap, clap, clap. I remember this. Because he just, he goes, action, action. That was good. Good job, Marcus Satsu. I like that video. That was clean. Well done. Well done. Guys, remember to subscribe to Marcus Satsu. If you check out the VOD on YouTube, you'll see the link to the video. You can go subscribe to his channel, give it a thumbs up like I did, everything like that. Let's get back to the chatting screen. And pow. Guys, we made it through another Kamen Rider Talks stream. How's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling about the Kamen Rider Talks we had today? I think that was a pretty good time. I had some fun with that. Some good times. Yeah? Some good fun times, yeah? Some good fun times. Yeah? Some good fun times. Yeah? Yippee, cool stream. Yippee! Let's look through the entire stream. I mean, this is pretty normal length for us. This is like probably around the time that we would be getting close to wrapping up anyway. I tend to go for anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. 3 to 5 is like my average for streaming. That way we have fun. We do something that's an activity. So, but yeah, guys, thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate the support. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, be sure to check out YouTube. If you like talking about Tokusatsu and Power Rangers, especially check out YouTube if you're over on Twitch. YouTube if you're there already. Just check out the videos and the past streams that I have to offer. I've got a deep dive into Kamen Rider Hibiki and a dive into Bakuryu Sentai Aba Ranger. Both of them are really fun. I'm more proud of the Aba Ranger video than I am the Hibiki video because I'm still very new to long-form video essay style content. But now I am actively working on my Gavan Infinity script. And we'll be recording the Gavan Infinity video this week. So if you are a subscriber on Twitch or a member over on YouTube, you can come join me for some behind-the-scenes recording, which will be happening on Thursday. So you'll be able to get a sneak peek as to my opinions and takes on everything that's gone on with Gavan Infinity. But tomorrow, I'll be doing a public stream, obviously. We're going to be hanging out with Rikami. We're going to be doing a tier list based on various ASMR and roleplay tags. So definitely come in. It's going to be a super fun time. Really excited to hang out with everybody and to go from there. So, guys, I will see you tomorrow for the hangout and tier list with Kami. I'll see you on Thursday for recording the Gavan Infinity video. And that's it. We are going to go ahead and raid into Candy, who had a debut today with a brand new outfit on their 3D model. So let's go send some hype and some love over to Candy. So, yippee! Thank you guys again for being here. I really appreciate the support. Thank you all so much. Yippee! Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. If you watched on YouTube, be sure to support Marcus Satsu. He was kind enough to let us react to his video. And then make sure you check back for more cool reactions like this in the future, because we definitely will be reacting to more of Marcus Satsu's content and anybody else that does Tokusatsu, because I love yapping about Toku. It's fun. Yippee! All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.